From Joe Yenny Stadium in Metairie, Louisiana, Crescent City Sports is proud to bring you Louisiana High School football. Tonight, it's a showdown for the District 10 5A title as the Riverdale Rebels take on the Bonnabel Bruins. Hello, everybody. I'm Ken Berthelot, along with Wade Kaiser, our spotter, Rick Thompson, Matt Merritt, our producer, and Sam Tanator, our photographer, as we are here to bring you all of tonight's action in what promises to be a really good prep football game. And it's a really good because you have two teams that are very hungry to be very good. Two teams that have not won a district championship, one ever. Riverdale, they're looking for their first in the history of the school. And Bonnabel hadn't won one since 1998. So both teams say, this is the year we can do it. Both are undefeated in district. Somebody becomes the 10-5A champion. And Wade Kaiser, you're a former coach. You know what that means to a team.
Yes, it does. When you're chasing after that district championship, and as I've said before in many of our broadcasts, not every district relishes a district championship, right? Because of all of the way things are with the select, non-select, and everybody getting reclassified every 2 years. Look, this district, Jefferson Parish, is relatively and has been historically together. And when it comes down to that trophy for a district championship of Jefferson Parish and this district, it means something to everybody. And you get a great look at the standings right there, Ken.
Yes.
There's Riverdale 4-0 in the district, 8-1 overall, and Bonnabel 4-0 in the district, 6-3 overall. John Narrett, West Jeff, Higgins, East Jefferson. You know, you got to look at the schedules that these guys have played, right? You know, you just take Riverdale right now. You know, they've had a relatively schedule that has helped them out from that standpoint, but they played some good football teams like Haynes, who won their district championship the other night. They put 42 on those guys. Patrick Taylor, who was from that district, played for the district championship the other night. They put 50 on those guys. Their only blemish is to Isidore Newman, who was a good football team, and they got beat 33-13. And then, of course, they've just drilled the whole district. Errett, right? Errett 14-0. Higgins 45-7. West Jeff 42-7. East Jeff last week 58-21. Now you look at Bonnabel's schedule. Bonnabel's schedule, you know, especially their non-district schedule, was tuned up a little bit tighter, right? You put in there Sophie B. Wright, which they beat, and then they lost Destrehan and Jesuit and Belle Chase. We know about Destrehan. We know about Jesuit from the Catholic League.
You bet.
We have covered Belle Chase, who beat
good.
Shaw last week,
yes.
Who should, if they win tonight, share a piece of their district championship, right?
Yes.
So those are, but they got them ready for tonight.
Yes.
That's what those three teams did. They got them ready for tonight. And then, of course, you look at what they did in the district, okay? East Jefferson, they put 67 on. John Errett, they put 34 on him. Higgins, they put 56 on him. West Jeff, they put 56 on him. When's the last time you've seen West Jeff get 56 put on him, right? So these teams can score some points. You look at Riverdale, they're scoring 39.4 points a game, and then the Bruins, and we just kind of reeled off some of their numbers, 35.2. So they're both averaging scoring 35 points a football game. Hey, these cats can light up a scoreboard, and I expect to see that tonight.
Yeah, and as we said, this is big. In district only, Bonnabel has rolled up 213 points, Riverdale 159, and both teams just have, I think, a little axe to grind not with the opponent here, but just with themselves, with themselves as being a champion, saying we can finally get to this point and win it. And let's credit two first-year head coaches for really changing the culture of these programs and having these kids believe, getting them to believe in themselves to where they could take that next step and say, we can be champions.
Yeah, I mean, and we all know, we've looked at the Jefferson Parish District historically. It's the West Jeffs and the John Erretts that have kind of ruled the roost,
all
correct?
the time, yes.
Yeah, so now you see Bonnabel back into the picture. You see Riverdale in the picture. It's great to see these guys getting their programs where they should be, representing Jefferson Parish so well and their communities. That's outstanding.
Yeah, this is going to be a real fun one to watch, and I think, folks, wherever you are watching tonight, you're going to enjoy this game. We're talking about two coaches in former LSU great, Edna Carr great, Andre Anthony. He took over the Bonnabel program. This is his first year, and he's got the Bruins believing that, hey, we can get things done. 6-3 record, first time they have been above 5 wins since the '98 season.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, and part of it is just getting them to believe.
Yes,
Ken, like you said, and what Coach Anthony said, just getting them to understand and believe, and when they do believe, that means that they show up every day and work hard. You know, and the kids get a little taste of that success. And you know, the sky's the limit.
The other side of that coin, the Riverdale Rebels, they are coached by Mark Longo, and he was an assistant coach here for a long time, and now he is the first-year head coach. And, man, not only did he get this team to believe, but they have reeled off, 8 wins against 1 loss. And again, both teams undefeated in district. And this is a really key showdown, and I know a lot of fans have been waiting for this one. Look, we see people filing into the stadium, but we see, as we look at the streets, there's a line of cars as people probably had encountered a little bit more traffic than they expected for this game, because in years past, you could have driven up at 7 o'clock and pulled right into the parking lot and gotten a spot. Not tonight. People are parking blocks away and having to walk, so you'll see a late arriving crowd, but one that's going to see a good football game.
Well, it brings back I can remember the days in the 70s and the 80s when, Jefferson Parish Schools over there at Hoss Mitmas and at West Jeff and here at East Jeff at Joe Yenny, these stadiums were packed for games that were inter-district rivalries, like Bonnabel, Riverdale, East Jeff, West Jeff, et cetera, John Ehret, West Jeff, those sort of things, Higgins, West Jeff. I mean, look, the stands were packed because they were all rivalries from Jefferson Parish, and it's great to see that again, and it's great to see 2 teams, that have brought their programs back up to par.
Yeah.
Playing for this trophy tonight.
Let's talk about some of the real fun players we're going to watch as the captains will make their way out to the center of the field for the coin toss, rather. And we'll start with the home team, the visiting team. Tonight's visiting team is the Riverdale Rebels. Both of these teams from Jefferson Parish, so they share this stadium a lot. So Riverdale will be wearing the visiting white tonight, and Bonnabel, the home colors, they're in gray to go along with their blue. And Lance Simmons, the quarterback, a fine senior quarterback. The man, he's been around for a long time, and running back Byron Perilliat, and this kid can light it up. And I'll tell you what, we're going to be selling these two from Riverdale to a lot of college scouts today, because if these 2 guys aren't on your radar, wherever you're watching, they should be, and they need to be. And you'll hear the same thing said in just a moment about a couple of Bonnabel Bruins in quarterback Carl Perkins, running back Tyree Brewer, and wide receiver Corian Hollins, just one of a whole plethora of excellent wide receivers on this Bonnabel team. We'll talk about them in just a moment. We just had the toss of the coin. What do we have, Wade?
Riverdale won the toss, elected to receive, so they want the ball first with that high-scoring offense, and I do not blame them. I do not blame them.
So, folks, you're going to see some fireworks right out of the gate. Let's put it this way. If there was an over-under on this game, I really don't care what the number is. Just take the over.
Take the over.
Take the over no matter what it is. Doesn't matter, because these points, they could light this scoreboard up a whole lot.
I'm checking my app right now. So, I mean, in the world today, everybody's got an app, right?
And most importantly, a 7-man officiating crew.
Oh, so boom. What do you know?
7-man officiating crew.
As it should be for a district championship game. That's
Yes.
what it ranks. New Orleans' finest group of officials. Those guys do a great job every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday working for the kids in the New Orleans area. That's the New Orleans Officials Association.
Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem. From Joe Yenny Stadium in Metairie, Crescent City Sports is proud to bring you Louisiana High School football. Tonight it's the showdown for the District 10 5A title as the Riverdale Rebels take on the Bonnabel Bruins. Ken Berthelot, Wade Kaiser, along with spotter Rick Thompson, our producer Matt Merritt, and photographer Sam Tornator. We're in for a good one, folks, as the Riverdale Rebels and Bonnabel Bruins battle for the District 10 5A championship, one that both schools want very bad. Riverdale looking for their first district title in the history of the school. Bonnabel hasn't won one since 1998. So yes, we are set to play some football, and we get ready to go here as the Riverdale Rebels won the toss, elected to receive. They want the football because they have that great explosive offense. Byron Pereliat is deep, one of the two deep men. Let's see if Bonnabel will keep it away from him. No, they're actually going to kick it right down the middle, and it will be Pereliat, the superstar, straight up the middle of the field, and he will bring it out right past the 20-yard line. So a nice return of about 19 yards, almost 20 yards for Byron Pereliat, and good field position for the Riverdale Rebels to start this game at their own 21-yard line.
Well, the guy, as we said, that's going to be directing this attack for the Scottish Rebels, Riverdale Scottish Rebels, is going to be Lance Simmons. He's a senior. He comes in 78 completions of 121 attempts. Already has thrown for 1,118 yards, 15 touchdowns, and only 5 interceptions. But he can also do it with his feet, too. He's also rushed for 257 yards and 5 touchdowns on the season. So he's a dual threat type of guy.
It'll be Simmons at quarterback, Pereliat right behind him, and he will get the ball first, go straight over the left side, pushes past the 25 up to about the 26-yard line, a gain of about 4.
Automatically, you can see his giddy up, right? It's like he's coming downhill out of a cannon. He has a quick first step. He gets his pads vertical. You could see it right there from that inside zone play by Riverdale.
Larry Sterick had made the stop. Second down, a little bit more than 6. Wants to throw, and there you see Simmons, good feet past the 30, sliding down very close to a first down. Let's see where they mark it. They're going to mark it at the 31. It's going to be extremely close, might just be a little short. Quincy Jackson on the stop. Well, wait a minute, we have a flag on the play. This one might be coming back.
They're going to probably get him for a hold. That's about the area where it is usually thrown, the flag.
Oh man, that wipes out what might have been a first down up at the 30, almost 31-yard line. If not, it would have been 3rd and inches, and it's going to move it back to the 15-yard line. Make that second down now, and a long way to go. So it's a passing situation. There's the throw, almost picked off, intended that time for Leo Riaz.
On the defensive play that time was number 7, the linebacker, Zyrell Morris, getting underneath the curl route.
Yeah.
Nicely done on breaking on the ball from his linebacker position, working curl to flat right there. He saw the play coming, sat on the curl, almost picked that thing off.
Now you got 3rd down and a long way to go. 3rd and about 14 from the 15-yard line. One wide receiver going in motion across the line. Big rush coming on. He'll throw the quick screen. He's got it. He's got the completion. Moving to the left side. It's going to be extremely close to the first down. Let's see where he stepped out and where they mark it on the far side. Nice little screen worked.
Well, one way you neutralize the rush is by running draws and screens, and that's what they did that particular time. A little slip screen to Pereliat, and you can see how they dumped the ball to him with a host of blockers out front. Looks like he ran out of bounds just shy of the first down.
Well, hold on. They don't look like they have the...
I think the chains are tangled up.
The chains are tangled up. And thank goodness the linesman and head linesman caught it, stopped the play.
Well, the problem is to get the spot of where the chains should be set. That's the line judge's job, the head line judge's job, and he's readjusting the chains right now to make sure they were set. The line to game is the 31-yard line.
Yeah, and at the 29, need 2, and they're going for it on 4th down. Let's see if the long count tries to pull them offside, and it did. And so if you want the long count, you're trying to pull them offside, and it's exactly what happened as Lyric Stewart, big defensive lineman, 6'3", 250, jumped, and that will give Riverdale on 4th and 2 a first down, nullifying the penalty yardage, hurting them in that drive.
First of all, you got to watch the ball as a defensive lineman. You're lined right up on the line of scrimmage on the ball. It's right there in your peripheral vision. You got to be able to see the ball move. You don't listen to the sound.
Yeah, by penalty, they'll actually get it. There's Perilliat going into motion, and they'll just try the run straight ahead up to the 34. Marvin Causey on the stop.
You can see how they take Perilliat and they move him around. They'll line him up out there in the slot, motion him back in. They'll line him up out at the Z receiver opposite the X and motion him back in. They'll line him up at halfback. So they're going to put him everywhere, and they'll fake him the ball. They'll throw him the ball, as well as, of course, hand the ball off to him just to get his hands on the ball because he's the guy.
Well, right now he's in the backfield right next to Simmons, and he gets the ball. Somehow bounces off to the left side, has a lot of room. Look at Perilliat go. He is off to the races. Perilliat, no one will catch him all the way for the score. My goodness, how about that?
Well, he went the distance right there, and then he went another distance running from the end zone back to his sidelines to celebrate with his teammates. Look at the jump cut right there. Did you see the jump cut in the hole to his left?
Amazing.
And he just turns on the Jets after that, down the boundary for the first score of our game here tonight.
A 65-yard touchdown run by Perilliat.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw it, but he turned around and he sprinted all the way back to his teammates about 50 yards back down the field. He needs some oxygen.
McKinney to hold as David Diaz, one of the best kickers in the district, gets set to attempt the point after. And they might be short one person. Let's see, are they trying to get another man on the field?
No, I think somebody lined up in the neutral zone. Plus, I think Riverdale was short one guy. You can play with 10.
Well, that's what I was talking about.
But you can't line up in the neutral zone.
Yeah, Riverdale looked like they were trying to get somebody back on very quick. Lance Simmons trying to get in from the sideline.
Yeah, Bonnabel lined up in the neutral zone, so they're going to move the ball half the distance to the goal line, and it looks like Riverdale is going to go ahead and try to go for 2.
Why not? You've got the momentum right now after a gigantic 65-yard touchdown run. A thing of beauty by Byron Perilliat. Simmons will throw to the end zone. And is it incomplete? Incomplete, no good. Intended for Torrin Signal. We haven't seen him targeted in this first drive, but he's one of the excellent wide receivers on this Riverdale team. 6-0 Riverdale.
Yeah, Torrance Signal, he needed to run his route a little bit deeper, right? If your intended line to get was the goal line, he was a little bit short of the goal line right there, and he needed to be just maybe a yard deeper. Ball a little bit wide, high and wide, right? So Signal just couldn't get his paws around the ball to come down with the 2-point conversion.
Well, what does that tell you about this Riverdale offense that we talked about, the explosivity of this offense, Wade Kaiser?
Explosivity. I don't think I can spell that. All right. But I do know Byron Perilliat can go, right? He's got some jets. Explosivity. Is that a Holy Cross word or explosivity? Gotcha. All right. There we go. They didn't teach me that one at Jesuit.
Well, I'll sign you up for the dictionary word of the day.
Or excuse me, is that a Saint Bernard, an Arabic word?
Well, there you go. It's down from the parish word, man.
There you go. No, but look, we knew the guy had some jets. We have never seen him this year. Been looking at his stats all year long, and now questions have been answered.
From the 3-yard line, And both of these kickers can get it deep, but both of these teams have good returnees and can make something happen. So all the way out to the 30-yard line.
Well, the guy that's going to make the drink stir, the straw, is going to be Carl Perkins. He's a senior. 105 completions of 194 attempts, 1,507 yards, 21 TDs. He's got a 54.1% passing average on the year. He can spin it a little bit, and he's got some great guys around him that can catch the football.
Senior quarterback, Coach Andre Anthony, very high on him, said he's just matured so much. He's watched this young man develop. He said he has taken over a leadership role at quarterback for the Bonnabel Bruins. And then the guy you watch behind him is going to be number 25 at the Carl Perkins, number 2, folks. Kind of hard to see sometimes. Tyree Brewer. And we've got already
delay a game. Illegal procedure, and it could have been a delay a game too because they didn't get it off. They were having trouble lining up in their formation. So Perkins was trying to get guys to move around, and that clock was running, and it's going to cost them 5 yards any way you look at it.
So the running back, and they'll use them as wide receivers at the bottom of your screen, is one of the most dangerous, and that is the young man we talked about in Tyree Brewer. They're not going to throw to him, or they're going to use a little razzle-dazzle. They're going long. They have a man open, but that time Raheem Williams couldn't reach him, couldn't get it to a wide-open Karian Hollins.
Yeah, double pass. You got to pass it backwards to pass it forwards. Perkins throws it backwards to Raheem Williams. Raheem Williams trying to throw the cross-the-field post to Karian Hollins, who was wide open, just couldn't get on target with the ball.
Yeah, if he could have gotten a little more air under that one, we might have a tie ball game at this point, waiting to see if an extra point would take the lead. But
yeah, you got to throw him open. Throw him open. Throw it out there and let him run to it, right?
How do you like that opening the game with a little razzle-dazzle, though? You got to love that from this Bonnabel Bruin team.
Well, if you practice it, you better use it.
Absolutely. Big hole up the middle that time, straight ahead past the 30 up to the 34-yard line. And that run right there by Tyree Brewer.
Yeah, Tyree Brewer's no slouch himself. Look at him hit this hole right here. 940 yards, 10 TDs on the season already, 14 yards per carry average, right? And he's caught the ball for a couple of hundred yards already this season, so he's got nice hands out of the backfield. He's a hard downhill runner.
Gabriel Adams on the stop that time. Third down, however, right now for Bonnabel, so it's 3rd and long, 3rd and about 8, and we've got another penalty. Both of these teams antsy, ready to play. You can tell that they'll jump, and they both have on each side of the ball for both teams. First drive for Riverdale, and now on this drive by Bonnabel.
Well, you can't jump like that. That was Cole Moses, right? Who was their tackle leader, right? He's the guy that stirs the drink for that Riverdale defense. 73 tackles on the season, 4 sacks, 3 interceptions. He's a ball hawk. And I don't know what happened to his Jets right there, but he just couldn't cool them. Yeah,
you made 3rd and 8 now, a 3rd and 2, very doable, giving Bonnabel an extra opportunity here. Long count by Carl Perkins as he looks over the defense. Chats it over, or chats about it with his running back, and there's that quick pass to the outside. You've got a man wide open in space. That's Hollins, and Hollins brought down before he can get to the 40-yard line, tackled short of the first down by just a yard. My goodness, how about that, Wade Kaiser?
You know, Hollins makes one guy miss, right? He's 5'9", 170 pounds. I think he can make a gnat miss, right? That's how quick this cat is. He had one guy flow over the top of him, and then the rest of the Riverdale defense got there to clean him up, to hold him short, and they look like they're going to go for it. Don't know if they're going to try to draw him off sides or not here.
Well, I think you've got to at least try to draw him off sides, see what happens, and long count, not going to go. They are just going for it straight ahead. Caught behind the line and turned over on downs. What a play as that time big Darnell Bolton busted through there to stop Bonnabel Cole.
Yeah, well, you got to block somebody right up front. Darnell Bolton just pitched a no-hitter. You can see him take the inside A-gap. They pinch the 2 defensive tackles down. Bolton comes right through the left A-gap of Bonnabel with nobody touching him.
Wow, how about that? Well, what looked like it was going to be, with the way these two teams are moving the ball, 4th and 1 seemed pretty easy, and taking what was 3rd and 8 and making it 3rd and 3 at the time.
And then I think there was a flag that was thrown, and it was declined by Riverdale, so they're going to take the ball over there at about the 39-yard line.
At the 39-yard line after Bonnabel turns it over on downs. This is Perilliat spinning. How does he get loose? It looked like he was going to be dropped at the line of scrimmage for no gain, and somehow he spins his way out of it inside the 35. My goodness.
Well, he was hitting the backfield, right? You can't let him get started. Watch the dark gray jerseys right there. Hit him in the backfield, but then you can see the strength of Perilliat as he continues with his hip and leg drive right there, spinning to fall continuously forward to pick up about 6 yards.
Yeah, Williams
7
on
yards.
the stop, and my goodness, that makes it what would have been 2nd and about 10, now makes it 2nd down and 4 after he pulled out 6 from who knows where. My goodness. Deep drop, and somehow, look at Simmons, escape. Simmons reverses field and somehow gets away from everybody. Simmons has the first down, has more, and it's run out of bounds inside the 25-yard line. 1st and 10 Riverdale, run out by Brandon Sampson.
He's got to keep his eyes up because he had a couple receivers, especially that were probably his 3rd or 4th reads. If you look at the top of the screen, you can see Brian Jackson, flying out to the flats right there. He could have dumped that ball out there, and Jackson could still be running, right? But he tucks that ball, and he starts scrambling around. Now, he's hard to catch. We're talking about Simmons.
What a player. Simmons with the snap, and watch him. He'll scramble. He can do it with his feet. Somehow escapes again. He's so slippery you can't bring him down, and he's all the way down to the 15-yard line. What a great play. And that will be short of the first down. 2nd down, but 2nd down and short. 2nd and about 4.
Well, he was looking at his tight end, Carlos Williams, who was sitting in the hook curl area right about the 15-yard line with a couple of Bonnabel Bruin jerseys standing right next to him. Great decision by Simmons to pull that ball down off of that read. He didn't want to chance it, and he took off, and he trusted his legs. And you can see now why he is a dual threat guy. He's an athlete.
Look, you don't have a lot of heat and humidity out there tonight, 73 degrees, but when your defense has been out there as long right now as Bonnabel's has, you can take advantage of that. Their handoff to Perilliat. Look at him, bounce to the outside, turns the corner at the 10, spun around at the 5, and a bunch of flags go down.
You're going to get a holding out on the edge out there by one of the Riverdale wide receivers, and I think it is going to be possibly on number 6. Torrin Signal out there couldn't get his hands out of the jersey of the Bonnabel defender.
Now Torrin Signal, one of the absolute fantastic wide receivers on this team, and we haven't seen him get targeted yet. And that's because there's been excellent coverage, and Lance Simmons has just been tucking it under and running like, not running for his life. He's been running the daylight and escaping when they get him, escaping all over the place, holding.
Well, there's your holding signal. So they'll back it up 10 yards from the spot.
Right
There's your hold right there, 10 yards from the spot of the penalty, and it's going to bring it back to the original start of where the series, the first down was. So, but it's going to be 2nd and 10 now.
Yeah. Came from center, Max Dufour, back to the 22-yard line now. Going to throw it out to the side. That one is caught by Torrin Signal. We said we've been waiting for him to touch the ball, and he just does. But every Bonnabel player on that side of the field was waiting for the same thing, and they smothered him.
Well, everybody throws that route, right? Curl flat, right? Signal runs flat off the motion. They run the curl with the wide out there, which was Syor Farrell, who hooks up at about 14, coming back to 12. Ball delivered nicely by Simmons out there to Signal for about a 6-yard gain.
Yeah, nice stop by Jamarian Williams. So that'll bring up 3rd down now, and right at about 5. Big hole up the middle, and they'll take it, but it's going to be very close. Let's see. It looks like they're going to mark it just short of first down yardage. 3rd down and about 1 as Zyrell Morris saved the first down with a good tackle.
Ken, if you're going to tackle this guy, you better tackle him downhill. I mean, I'm talking down around his knees, right? Because that cat, if you hit him any higher, he's going to truck you. Tyrell Morris tackles him right down there around the knees. Nicely done. He comes in with 70 tackles and 1 defensive touchdown on the season for Bonnabel.
From about the 12-yard line, and trying to go up the middle to get the first on 4th and 1. It's going to be very close. Not sure. Let's see. Riverdale says they have it, but what do the officials say?
Looks like they gave him the first down. He got the spot on the first down. It looked like a favorable spot because Brandon Sampson came in off the edge and again tackled the running back, Perilliat, around the knees. We've got a flag on the Bonnabel sideline, and it's an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on the bench.
Uh-oh.
So let me explain that to everybody out there. You get an unsportsmanlike, you get 1, it's a warning. You get 2, you go sit on the bus, right? And that includes if one of your assistants get an unsportsmanlike because it goes on the head coach. That is a federation rule.
Well, that didn't look like it was on Andre Anthony, and I'm not sure which assistant it may have been on. But you're right. Now Andre Anthony is on the hook for this one.
He's on the naughty list, right? So he is on the naughty list, and he gets 1 more. He's going to sit on the bus.
Now that moves it down to the 6-yard line.
So it'll be 1st and 5.
1st and 5. Simmons looking in the end zone, caught from behind, and he tried to get rid of the ball, wisely pulled it and tucked it back in, and he is sacked. And that's the first sack of the game by Lyric Stewart.
Yeah, Lyric Stewart, look, he comes right off the edge right there, and he gets and applies the pressure that he needs to get home for his sack of the night. So he's in the statistical column for a sack here in this district championship game.
Moves the ball back to the 15-yard line. And again, here comes the rush. Nobody open, and now Simmons smothered again, and somehow Bonnabel has found a way to clog up the holes, cover the possible receivers, and that time Quincy Jackson.
Well, Quincy Jackson and Causey,
Marvin Causey with it too.
They both got there, Ken, and here's the deal, right? You know, everything in the passing game starts with protection, and on these last 2 particular routes, Riverdale's protection was not very good. So you've got to be sound in protection. You build inside out in the passing game. It doesn't matter how well you spin the ball. It doesn't matter how well you catch the ball, what type of speed you got on the flank. If you can't protect it, you can't throw it. Riverdale could not protect that. They had issues in the A-gaps with the centers and the 2 guards. Bonnabel gets home 2 times in the row, and you can see it is now 3rd down and an Uber ride to get a first down, right?
Oh, man, without question. And it'll be interesting to see. What would you dial up right here, considering what happened the last 2 plays?
I'm going to try to get half of it back if I have to. I need half of it because I want to make sure that I'm at least in range to kick a field goal. I don't want to come away from this red zone with zip, right?
Right.
So, you know, it's 3rd down. If I decide I want to go for it on 4th down, then I've got a choice, or I can kick the 3. We don't know the range of the Riverdale kicker. We know he can kick the ball off. It looks like the young man's got a strong leg. We're talking about David Diaz, right? But I want him, not knowing, if I'm the head coach, I would know his distances, obviously. So I want to do something that is going to get me at least half of it back to give me a decision on 4th down.
Watch Armani McKinney down at the bottom of your screen with Sayura Farrell. Farrell, an excellent wide receiver, another guy who has not been targeted yet in this game. Simmons with the snap. He's looking the other way. He's going deep into the end zone. Little hand pushing down there. No harm, no foul. Incomplete.
Okay, so what that tells me is they have confidence in the young man's leg from this distance, right? Great job on the protection that time from Riverdale. 4-man rush. Look at the guys in white. Do a great job. It's big on big protection that allows Simmons the amount of time to set his feet and throw the vertical route downfield. So either they know their guy can kick this,
Well, David Diaz is one of the best kickers in the district, one of the best kickers in the state. Last year, he got as long of 47 yards. So we know he's got 47 to 50 yards difference.
Well, there you go. So that's the reason why they threw that, and they knew exactly what the distance David Diaz has.
This is a 40-yard field goal from the left hash. It is up. It is up. It is. It looks like it's going to be
a little bit short, right?
Little short. Didn't maybe get the leg into that one like he wanted, but he missed a 40-yard field goal there.
It's just tough. You don't want to come away from your red zone without points, right? What hurt Riverdale, there were a couple of penalties down there, and you just can't have that inside the red zone.
So how do you counter this if you're Bonnabel now? You've only had the ball for a little over, or right about 2 minutes, maybe a little over 2 minutes in this first quarter. You've had one drive, and you turned it over on down, so you basically had about 5 plays so far.
I get it into the hands of my playmakers, right? One of the things that they've done all year is Tyree Brewer has been established in their running game. Let's get him established. Let's give him some touches here and get him running downhill. But you can't have pre-snap penalties like that.
Wow, that'll frustrate the living daylights out of you.
Yes, it will.
Gonzalez, the left tackle.
Pre-snap penalties get coaches without jobs. Look, I'm telling you, it's nuts. Here you are on week 10. Both of these teams are going to be playoff teams. We'll talk about that later. You just can't have pre-snap penalties.
Carl Perkins, your quarterback. He'll move Tyree Brewer to his left side. And now he'll move one of his receivers to the other side. Rush coming, he'll throw, has a man, dropped. Oh, he was open at the 30 in front of his man, and he could not hold on to the ball, and he's feeling, and we're kind of helping him feel his pain. Tough break on that one.
Yeah, there's no better place to hit a receiver than in the hands, right?
Yeah, that was Kenneth Robinson.
Right, and first thing I would do is I'd take them to the sidelines. I'd take them gloves off, right? But I'm old school, right? Pull up your socks, take your gloves off, you'll catch the ball better. That's the way I looked at things, right? But, you hit them right in the hands.
2nd and 5. Big hole. You could drive a bus through that one. And that time Perkins goes for the first down, and my goodness, he saw it and just tucked it over, and finally Syor Farrell is there to make sure he goes out of bounds.
Well, that's off option, right? Very, very well executed. Nobody in the alley to take quarterback to pitch, and really a defensive miscue there, not having everybody squared away on the option play.
Big 11-yard gain gives them first down and 10. And they're going to keep it on the ground, try to open up some holes, and they do right there. That's Tyree Brewer.
Well, there's Brewer's speed, right? You can see he pops that and he runs downhill, and he's got some giddy up in his legs. And this is where on 1st and 2nd down they stay between the sticks. They're in good shape. You can see his explosive, what's that word?
Explosivity.
Explosivity, there you go.
He gained 7 there, 2nd down and 3. And they're going to hold him back and then not allow that first down, but he gets up to the 40-yard line. It's going to make it 3rd down and 1.
Yeah, Cole Moses, I think, made that tackle along with
Joey
Phillips, right? Those two guys right there hit him simultaneously. And that was a nice job defensively to bring up a 3rd and short for the Bonnabel Bruins.
Now, Bonnabel needs to keep this drive going. We are nearing the final 30 seconds here of the first quarter. And Bonnabel's only had one drive, amounted to 4 plays. They turned it over on downs and have fallen behind only 6-0 at this point as their defense stepped up. So here's your 3rd and 1. They've got the first down, going right up the middle, up across the 45, and got room to spare on that. Good running. Ms. Bolton made the stop as they're going to mark that ball back at about the 40. They move it back to about the 47. The 7-yard gain, move the chains, first down, Bonnabel. And
Well, you saw the speed of Perkins right off of the zone read there. He just pulled it and kept it, and he exploded through to set up a nice set downs. This is the nicest drive so far on the night that they've had.
Tonight's coverage on Crescent City Sports is brought to you by Ochsner Andrews Sports Medicine Institute. Don't let a sports injury keep you sidelined. Our team offers health care for athletes with same-day appointments available near you. Visit oxnard.org/sportsmed to learn more. You know what I like about that group? You don't have to be a professional athlete or playing in high school or a college. It's just for the everyday athlete, too.
Well, I'm an old guy, and right now I'm trying to figure out Medicare, so I know they take Medicare, right? I mean, you're older than me.
Yeah, there's you
so
and I.
You got all that worked out, correct? We need to talk
baby.
After the game and make sure that I'm squared away with it.
When I'm not that, you sure I'm not older than you? Hold on.
Well, no, in all reality, Ochsner takes all that Medicare stuff, so I'm in good shape, right?
Absolutely. Now, the good news for Bonnabel is they have kept this drive moving. And
well, they're doing it on the ground, right? And that's nice to see because they're getting involved in all different areas. They're hitting it inside the tackles, outside the tackles. They're using their two best runners, Perkins and Brewer.
Now they're in tight, but they do have two wide outs to the right side for a lefty quarterback thrown. It is intercepted at the 33-yard line. Coming back, it's Byron Farrell with the interception.
Yeah, Byron Farrell has come into this game with one interception, and he gets another statistic for his second on the season. Watch the ball. Poor decision right here, I believe, by Perkins. He throws to a defender who is in a curl route that is covered by everything in a white jersey, right? And Byron just undercuts the route real quick with a great set of hands for his second pick on the season.
And good field position for Riverdale at the 40-yard line. Still only 6-0. These teams have moved up and down the field, but have not been able to, except for one time, get it into the scoreboard. Simmons at quarterback. He escapes, flag thrown in the backfield by the referee. He's run out of bounds for a short gain, but let's see.
It's going to be a holding penalty against Perilliat at about the 30-yard line. He was the lead blocker on the quarterback sweep, but he didn't block anybody. He just tackled the defender. That, my friends, is a 10-yard holding penalty. So he's upset with himself. I can tell by his body language right now that, oh, man, I didn't do a good job. I hurt my team, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You can see that. Got to have a the mind of a goldfish, my friend, right?
Yeah, you do.
Come back and play the next down. Only problem is it's first in an Uber ride. I mean, look, it's a long way. Got to work on trying to get half of it back.
1st and 20 from back at the 30. They'll go out, and that was thrown out there to the Torrance signal, but off the mark. And you see, that's what we're talking about. You got to kind of forget those things sometimes. You can't let a penalty affect you as a team. You've got to come back with the big play. A little off the mark. Now you're facing 2nd down and 20. You got a long way to go. The key.
Right. Well, you got to try to get yourself into a 3rd down and somewhere where you can take a shot at the stick. Right. I mean, when you're this far behind the chains, it's all about not getting it all, but getting a nice piece of it back to give you a 3rd down option.
Big rush. And they'll throw the little screen under, and they've got some room up to the 35. Got some of the yardage back, but have a whole lot more to go. Zyrell Morris makes the stop that time on signal.
Yeah, hey, very well read by Zyrell Morris. They had it set up nicely. A little bit too much room between his blockers and the screen. You can see how that allowed Zyrell Morris to slip underneath the white jerseys, which were in the screen for Perilliat, and Zyrell Morris was the guy that made a nice saving play, and it's still going to be a 3rd and long for this.
Yeah, 3rd and 15.
Yeah, for this Scottish Rebel offense.
2 wideouts to each side. Here comes the rush. Simmons with just a little flip out to Perilliat. Perilliat breaks the tackle, makes a great turn, and somehow gets the first down before being run out of bounds. Are you kidding me? Wow, what a run by Byron Perilliat. Oh, my goodness. Run out of bounds after making the first. Watch it again, Wade.
Well, the play starts with Simmons. Look at his situational awareness, knowing where his guys are on the field around him, right? So he just kind of shovels that ball over to Perilliat, and then, I mean, look, everything else says it for itself. You see, he gets away from the defenders and finds the stick, and the sticks are moved.
He needed 15. He got 15. He may have had to run 30 to get it, but he did, and he broke some tackles, and that is what we were telling you about as this game began. Byron Perilliat, a joy to watch. Brian Jackson gets his first touch of the ball game, first carry, and runs right into Marvin Causey.
Yeah, Causey chases him down from behind. It's a zone to the wide side, to the short side of the field, outside zone, and coming right off the tail like a good defensive lineman's supposed to do from the backside, squeeze everything down and trail. That's exactly what Causey did to make a nice tackle for a loss on Byron Jackson.
Second down, 12. At their own 48. Little time to throw. He's got his man complete to Farrell on the far side. Makes a nice catch short of the first down. Dontrell Williams on the stop. Third down and 1.
Nice simple 3-deep coverage there with a lot of room over there on all those wideouts, the X and the Z, right? Giving good cushion. They take what they get off of the hitch route, and it's going to set up a nice third and short.
Yeah, 1 yard to go. They got to get to the 40, and they might have just got a free gift. Who goes offside first? Was it a defensive? It's defense because Bonnabel's walking backwards. And that was Deron Hervey. Made a couple of nice tackles in this game. A little too anxious that time to make the stop on 3rd and 1.
Yeah, look, high school football and federation rules, it's pretty succinct, right? The minute you break the neutral zone, it's offsides, play is dead. There's none of this, I drew him, he drew me, and all that stuff. They're standing up and pointing and being lawyers, right? It's pretty simple.
First and 10 at the 36. This time Perilliat nowhere. He's caught in the backfield, spun around and dropped.
See, Ken, that's the secret. You can't let him get going, right? You've got to hit him in the backfield, and you've got to get a lot of people there quick before he gets ahead of steam. This cat gets ahead of steam. He's not only running away from you, but he's going to run over you.
And that's Herbie, who just jumped offside before, gave him the free first down. So guess what? He got in there and made up for it.
Well, you know, what he's saying right there is, Coach, don't be mad at me. I'm going to come back and make a play for you on the next down, and that's what you got to do, right?
Exactly, and that's how that's how you make up for it.
Yeah, you can't be mad at him long.
Both of these coaches, Mark Longo at Riverdale and Andre Anthony, if you're familiar with that name and you're an LSU fan, you know what he did at LSU. He was on that national championship team, Coach Ogeron, national championship team 2019. Best memory, he said, was his scoop and score against Tennessee Chattanooga.
There you
Loved
go.
it, man.
I vaguely remember that. They just got the chains unraveled again. The chains were all twisted up and tangled. They just got them unraveled.
Well, the way these guys are moving the football, I mean, my goodness, it's the chains can't keep up with it. What do we have here?
Well, it looks like Bonnabel coach wants to have a word with our white hat. So they took a timeout to do that.
And he's going all the way out onto the field. Bonnabel coach is Andre Anthony. Both of these coaches are first-year head coaches. They've been around for a long time. They've got multiple years of experience.
I got news for you. You call a timeout just to have a nice little word with the white hat, the odds are usually you're not going to win the argument.
Yeah.
I never won one.
Well.
And then I lost my timeout. So,
yeah. But that was just a thing. When you went out there, they said, hey, Kaiser's coming out no matter what.
Yeah, don't listen to him, right? Don't listen to him. I got a great story. Elmo the late great Elmo Adolph, right? One of the best officials to ever call high school football. there's an inadvertent whistle out there one night, and in the middle of the game, I'm screaming, I'm yelling. I call timeout. I walk out there, and I just look at him. I said, now look, I got to come out here and chew you for my fans because they're going to want to know what's going on. So just do me a favor. Just nod your head up and down like you're listening to me, right? And we talked about boxing for about 2 minutes.
One of the great boxing officials.
Correct.
Hall of Famer.
And so he's nodding his head up and down, and we're just having a good old conversation. And I said, okay, I think I'm done. And my fans were cheering me.
Right? That's what it's all about.
I got my words in, right? He knew exactly what was going on.
That is just too much. Well, the officials talking about whatever Coach Andre Anthony wanted to talk with the white hat, the referee, about.
I
Do you have any idea what this might be?
Well, it might be about down, what down it particularly is. I don't know if they. He might be arguing that it might be third down and not second down. That's the only thing I can think.
Well, you know what? I'm thinking it's third down, because they were at the 48, lost one to the 47, had the penalty, then went back to the 36. So I'm looking at third down here. Not sure. We don't have an official stats to check this with. Now let's see what they decide is going to happen.
Well, kids just want to play. They're ready to roll, right?
Yeah. And they're getting the fans riled up just to keep them fired up.
Right, but you know, the guys in the striped jerseys, they've got to manage the game, so they've got to make sure that it's fair. So they're going to discuss whatever they have to do to make sure that they've got the particular managerial part of the game correct.
This brings back a horror story for Tulane fans. Remember fifth down Fran Kersey and the Miami Hurricanes? Did they mess that up because of a penalty. Miami got that fifth down and scored on the fifth down play and went on to win it. But, karma. Fran Kersey later came back with Kentucky as the head coach of Kentucky into the Superdome to play Tulane when Tulane was playing their games in the Superdome, and had 3 consecutive defensive pass interference penalties. Game can't end on a pass interference penalty. Tulane scored on the third one and beat Kentucky. They beat Fran Kersey. That was the big thing. And just a little karma coming back years later.
Well, karma will come back, and it is. That's the reason why it's always good to treat people as you want to be treated, because that karma will come back to bite you.
Right now, the referee is talking to the chain gang on the other side. So everybody thinks this has to do, is it second down or is it third down?
Or possibly where the spot of the chains were, that they weren't moved.
That could be it too.
That could have been it too. So it looked like they've moved the chains. Now it's going to end up being 2nd and 11.
2nd and 11. The ball is still at the right place at the 36-yard line. But now it's 2nd down and 11 as they move the chains. They respotted the chains.
They moved the chains. I believe that Andre Anthony might have won his conversation.
He did. He won his conversation. Hoorah for Andre Anthony. And Simmons goes out to Perilliat, and Perilliat inside the 30 gets a lot of the yardage back, where he's finally stopped by Alfred Lee.
Alfred Lee made a nice tackle on that train that caught that ball that was bearing down on him, right? Watch the bubble. This is a hard pass. This is not easy, right? And you've got to have the right angle. It's got to be thrown on the right timing. The bubble's got to be completely at the right depth. And then you got a defensive man bearing down on you. When you're catching that as a receiver, that's a hard play right there. Kudos to Byron Perilliat and the Riverdale offense.
Third down, need 3. Quick pass, might have it inside the 25 down to the 24-yard line. Nice catch by Torrance Signal.
Yeah, nice little timing route. That ball was out and on the way before Signal was out of his break, right? Ball put on the right particular spot. You can see ball's out, breaks in, Nicely done, and got a foot down.
Yeah, and got a first down, more importantly, too. So they keep the chains moving at the 24-yard line, first down. Riverdale with a 6-0 lead, moving, controlling, in trouble. And Simmons smart to just cover that ball. Cover that ball. He's thrown for a big loss. Heading it up was Deron Hervey. We've called his name so many times tonight from his linebacker's position. The senior showing why he's one of the all-district best.
Yeah, Hervey comes from the backside. Nobody touches him. Again, when Riverdale gets in trouble, it gets in trouble because of protection trying to throw the football. Simmons holding onto the ball a little bit too long. The route was a little slow developing. It was a double move out there by the wide receiver signal, and it just didn't develop very quick, and he got into a problem on his backside. It wasn't protected, and Harvey comes up with another sack.
8-yard sack. Now they've got to try to get it back. They will. They'll toss it out, and it is caught by Brian Jackson. Jackson inside the 20, and he is going to be short of a first down, but got a lot of yardage back before he brought down by Alfred Lee.
They do a nice job setting up that slip screen. Let's talk about the definition of a slip screen. Watch the back right here act like he's protecting, and then he just slips out behind his lineman, and they just dump the ball to him. Everything's timing on the screen game, right? You got to practice that. You just can't walk out there and do it. So you practice the timing with your lineman, with your back, with your quarterback, making sure you're doing a good acting job before you turn around, and that ball should be on you as a running back.
3rd down 3, right up the middle, the handoff to Perilliat. He is down to the 10-yard line, has the first down. Wow, how about that on the 11th play of this drive? Hervey with the stop once again, but Riverdale now threatening.
Well, it's not just the 11th play of the drive, Ken. They're running off a ton of time off that clock.
This
right?
drive started with 11 minutes and 50 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, there you go. So it's been just almost 6 minutes they've had the ball?
I'll add up time of possession at halftime. These teams moving too fast for me to be able to do it in my head right now. Perilliat to the 10, makes the turn. Never near the goal line. Touchdown! Perilliat! How about that? Byron Perilliat showing why he is Byron Perilliat.
Everything stacked up in between the tackles where it was supposed to hit, right there off tackle. Watch. Nice job by Bonnabel right there. But where's the corner? The corner gets sucked inside right there. Nobody sets the edge, and I keep talking about that in every game that I call, right? No matter whether it's college all the way down to high school, it's about setting the edge, being where you're supposed to be, when you're supposed to be. Nobody was setting the edge for Bonnabel that time. Perilliat gets onto his left edge, and it's a touchdown.
They're just going to let one of the best kickers kick the extra point, not go for 2 here. David Diaz slaps it. It is blocked. It is blocked.
Was that blocked, or was it a bad snap, or was it a combination of both?
Well, let's take a look at the replay. Did he kick it into the line? Let's check.
No, that is blocked.
That's blocked.
That's blocked off his right edge. Can't get the number of the young man that comes
Looks
off
like
the edge.
I think it's Marvin Causey.
Marvin Causey. Having a great night, huh?
I think. We're not sure, but you have to check that again on a replay. But that's what it looked like. 12-0. The lead to Riverdale. The Riverdale Scottish Rebels looking for their first ever district championship.
I have one question. What is a Scottish Rebel?
I don't know, but I'm going to take a guess, and I think I'm close. A rebel who wears a kilt.
Bingo. There you go. All right, that's good enough for me.
Folks, if I'm not close, I'm just teasing. We're going to find that out specifically.
I know what it means to be Scottish. I know what it means to be a rebel. So I guess you just combine the two together, and I guess in Scotland they have rebels, right? Okay.
Rebel can be anywhere. So, hey, we just took a wild guess.
I think I'm overthinking this. That's my wife says I overthink too much, right? So.
Well, just one deep returner. So, right now, Bonnabel expecting a short kick. And that is Tyree Brewer, who is deep. But they've got 5 people between the 25 and the 35 thinking that David Diaz is not going to send it deep. He's got a strong leg. Both of these kickers for both of these teams can reach the end zone. And Diaz is going to kick it deep, and he breaks the plane of the goal line, which means it's coming out.
Yeah, it's coming out. High school, you break that plane with the ball, it's automatically coming out to the 20. The ball is dead.
And I think that I like that. You're up 12-0. You haven't gotten either extra point. Send it deep and let them go 80.
Look, in high school, kick it deep. If you can put it in the end zone and you got 80 yards behind your defense, that's a weapon, right? That is a weapon. Just kick it into the end zone. Nobody gets an opportunity to run it back, right?
I'm with you all the way on this one. So let's see. With Carl Perkins, and again, this time of possession heavily in favor of the Riverdale Rebels. Let's see what they can do right now to try to make something happen. Big hole up the middle and some broken tackles all the way up to the 40-yard line. My goodness, they'll mark him at the 39. But what a run that time by Tyree Brewer.
You know, I've said it a couple of times already tonight. You've got to establish him. You know, he's your bell cow of your offense. The guy that steers it all is Carl Perkins. This guy's your bell cow. You got to get your bell cow moving, and that's what he's capable of.
18-yard gain on first down. So first down again for the Bruins. They're going to try the middle again. This time the Riverdale Rebels stuff it. After a gain of 2, Darnell Bolton was the chief stuffer on that play.
The chief stuffer. There you go. Darnell Bolton. Chief stuffer. I like that.
Still got 4, but you're working against the clock. You want to get on the board in this final 4.5 of the first half here.
Bruins working with 2 timeouts and Riverdale working with 3.
There you see Carl Perkins, a quarterback, setting his running back behind him. Give to him, caught in the backfield and dropped.
I believe that was Mylan Allen who came off of the edge, comes down the line of scrimmage backside. They slanted to the strong side that time, the defense. Oh, actually, it was an inside twist. It was an inside twist. It was a nose tackle twist right there. Nobody picked up Myron Allen coming down hard through the A-gap, and he bangs it up right at the line of scrimmage.
That was the first carry of the game for Kenyon Harper. Second, take that back. So they tried to maybe just take it out of the hands of Tyree Brewer for just a little bit, see if they could fool him. Now it's 3rd down and about 8. Toss to the right side. Even though he slipped, he got up and caught the ball. Raheem Williams tackle. Did he get the first down? Yes, they're going to give him forward progress. He gets the first down by a yard. Dwayne Swilly spun him around, tried to make sure that he didn't get the first, but he caught that ball 1 yard, the 1 yard he needed to get that first down.
Well, he slipped and got back up. Everybody saw him come out of his route. His feet lost traction.
There we go again. They're going to move a little faster, and they just push it up the middle again to the 45-yard line of Riverdale. So they move that ball past the 50 into Riverdale territory. And again, you're seeing Tyree Brewer just beat Tyree Brewer, which is important.
Nice job by that offensive line from Bonnabel that time. Parks, Koss, Gonzalez, Stewart, and King. They've done a nice job all night, especially with their pass protection.
At the Riverdale 45, 2nd down, 4. And off once again to Brewer. No, fake to Brewer. Good fake to Brewer, and he throws, but cannot catch it. A little short for the intended receiver, Raheem Williams. Swilly covering.
He was trying to hit a post route backside off the play-action pass. You can see the jet sweep fake. Watch, here we go, right there. The sweep fake right there, and he's looking all the way backside by the ex-receiver. His intended target that time, I think, was Williams on a post route. He had a step on the defender. Ball was off target.
Yeah, just couldn't get it to him. But now you're facing 3rd down and 4 to keep this going. You're at the 45-yard line. You have to get to the Riverdale 41. Probably with 2:29 to go, 4-down territory. Pass outside, and boy, as soon as he can catch the ball, Brewer is dropped. Boom. What a play that time by the Riverdale defense.
They had that sniffed out all the way, trying to get the ball out to the halfback on a little flare screen right there, halfback screen.
Jacob Danton, I think.
And I believe you're correct. Jacob Danton comes wide out there and makes a great open field tackle.
4th down, as we said, this is 4-down territory with less than 2 minutes to go in the half. 1:53 in the clock ticking. Riverdale leading it 12-0, 2 touchdowns, both extra points. Missed timeout, Bonnabel. They want to talk about this. Much too important of a play to rush it, and they've got the timeouts. Use it now.
Well, yeah. I mean, they've got 2 of them. They need to make sure that they've got everything, on par. Yeah, look, it's a 2-score game. Actually punting the ball wouldn't be a bad idea here, right? You don't want to give Riverdale the ball right here at midfield.
Tonight's coverage on Crescent City Sports is brought to you by Visit Kenner. Join us for Kenner's 4th annual Food Truck Festival, Sunday, November the 16th in Lake Town, with 34 food trucks, 4 bands, 24 craft vendors, and an expanded kids zone. Admission, we love this, admission is free.
My favorite word.
Mine too.
I thought it was 34 food vendors. That's one of mine too. Right?
Yeah. Yes.
But no, here's the reason why I say thinking about punting the ball, and I like this decision to punt the ball right here, because if you know for some reason that 8 yards you cannot get, you better have something dialed up perfectly, and doesn't mean the game. It's just a 2-point game, or a 2-score game. You're still in this thing. You do not want to give this ball to Riverdale right here at midfield with 3 timeouts.
4th down. A long 7. There they go. They were in punt formation. They're going to fake it. They're going to run to the right side. They've got the first down. They've got a lot more. Here we go to the left side. And this one all the way inside the 10-yard line. What a play and by Raheem Williams.
Or you just line up in punt formation, sail the ball back there, and just take off and run the football for the first down, right? Take a look at this. Look at the people he makes miss. 1, 2. He makes 2 people miss in the open field, and he finally gets drugged down, and we had a unsportsmanlike penalty on Riverdale, which is going to bring it even closer to the goal line. It'll be inside the 5 now.
Well, I believe that was Kenneth Robinson. The 15 and the 16 with these jerseys look very, very much alike.
Yeah, that was
Kenneth Robinson,
correct,
the punter on that run. But Raheem Williams has got the speed as a wide receiver. You think that he might have been the guy they used, but they didn't need it. Guess what?
Well,
first and goal at the 6-yard line.
A lot of speed across the board on this Bonnabel team. Even their punter can run.
You better believe it. Oh, now you got your other speedster, your regular speedster, Tyree Brewer, right next to Perkins. And it's going to be Brewer straight ahead. He's pushing forward. He's very close. He stood up, and the second effort gets him into the end zone. Touchdown. Flags are thrown. We got a flag. Hold on.
Well, it's going to be dead ball after the play, I'm sure, because he was in the end zone, broke the plane, plays over. Either somebody said something, did something unsportsmanlike, most likely.
Well, let's sort it out. But what a run first by your punter, or the guy who was back in punt formation. It was Kenneth Robinson.
Unsportsmanlike versus Bonnabel. Something was probably mentioned in the melee down there to the official or around the official that just shouldn't have been said. So look at the second effort right here.
Well, you think he stopped, he stood up, and boom, second effort with the big push, and yeah, let it loose. The big guy trying to say, I need to get it in there, and he did right there, Tyree Brewer.
So they'll put the unsportsmanlike penalty on the kickoff.
And the point after is no good. So at halftime, somebody's got to go down to both locker rooms and introduce these teams to the extra point. Just teasing, folks. 12-6 is the score right now. Riverdale with the lead over Bonnabel, but Bonnabel is on the board. That's the most important thing for the Bruins right here, Wade Kaiser.
Off of a fake punt, right? And look, I thought it was a great decision to punt that football.
Yeah, you did. You were talking about it.
And pin Riverdale down deep, but what do I know, right? Just snap the ball to your punter and have your punter take off and pick up the 8 yards and more to set up your first score of the evening for your team, right?
Yeah, nothing like a 39-yard gain on a fake punt for a first down to the 6-yard line and set your team up for the one score they have needed so badly.
Yeah, exactly. Look, all the fake punts I ever ran, I was trying to get a half yard. Man, I tell you what, and he had some speed for a punter, right? So he took off and turned the Jets off and made a couple guys in white jerseys miss. The little penalty, tacks it on inside the 5, give it to Mr. Brewer, and he, second effort, puts it into the end zone.
There's a lot of great games going on around the New Orleans area tonight, but I tell you what, this is one of them right here, and two very special teams looking for their, in Riverdale's case, their first ever district championship, and Bonnabel hadn't won one since 1998. So these teams are like, yeah, we're ready. And they're playing like it. You're seeing some good defense where needed, good offense where needed, explosive plays. It's got a little bit of everything. Perilliat and Signal deep. And we've got whistles before we can ever get started on this one. Flag is already down.
Had a lot of flags tonight, right? I mean, you're in week 10 and there's yellow all over the field all the time. You know, you've had pre-snaps, you've had holdings, you've had unsportsmanlikes, you've had some personal fouls.
Look, each coach told us when we talked to him, we're telling our team, don't look past this one, but don't get too excited. Play the game you've played that got you to this game. But you got two teams here, and there's always a but, all right? So you got two teams here that they want this district title so bad. It's escaped them for so long. Last year they finished second and third. East Jefferson won the district. They won it this time. So
yeah, I mean, and emotions.
Offside moved us back 5 yards.
Right, emotions are great, but you got to clean the penalties up because look where they're kicking from right now with this explosive Riverdale offense.
Signal on the return. And he is across the 45 with a little help from that penalty. And there's another second effort. Grady pushes up to the 50-yard line to midfield, and they'll get that clock stopped with 53 seconds. And again, with the explosiveness of Riverdale and only 50 yards to go, anything's possible. And remember,
well, they got three timeouts.
And remember, 3 timeouts and a kicker that can kick it from 40.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So all of that because of a penalty, right?
Yes.
So they got to learn to hold their water and cool their jets. We're talking about both teams because you do not want to get yourself in a position where a penalty is going to cost you or even win you a district championship.
All right, let's see what Riverdale will pull out in these final 53 seconds. What do they have in store? Lance Simmons, Byron Perilliat. It won't go to Byron this time. He's going to throw to the left side. That one picked off on the far side. Intercepted. How about that? Picked off by Dontrell Williams.
Hey, let's take a look at it. The ball's behind and does not come out on time on this out. Dontrell Williams breaks on the ball, playing a little bit tighter in his cover 3 alignment out there. He breaks on the out route nicely. Ball is thrown to the inside of the receiver. You can't miss there. You cannot miss there. And our quarterback, Lance Simmons, missed there. And Dontrell Williams does what? Picks it. Now gives Bonnabel a shot at everything. 48 seconds. Problem is they don't have a timeout.
They don't have a timeout, but they still have 48 seconds. Only 54 yards away from pay dirt to take the lead or tie this game and maybe take the lead. Good big balls loose on the ground. Riverdale's got it. Did they call it down?
They called it incomplete.
Oh, incomplete.
They were trying to set up the screen to the right-hand side of the Bonnabel offense, and the ball was bobbled around and never caught or possessed. Take a look at it right here. Nice slip screen again. Their version, it just gets slapped out of his hands. Oh, my goodness. They might want to go to the booth and review that.
Well, that's why I wasn't sure if they were calling it down incomplete. Well, guess what?
They called it incomplete.
It's incomplete. We don't have review here on a one-camera shoot, so we live with the calls that are down there. 2nd down, 10. Perkins with a roll, time, toss, down low, incomplete again. 3rd down.
Yeah, but just for everybody out there viewing, in 5 weeks from now, in the state finals in the Dome, they will have a replay. You know, it all depends on the side of the coin you're on that, and I can talk about for a few minutes, but nobody wants to hear me say a word about it. But the point being is they play without no replay all year long, and then they get to the state finals. They want to get everything perfect and everything right. You've got replay. Good and bad
I'll make a state final statement for you for every guy who's ever had to call a high school game in just a moment. Right now we've got 3rd and 10. 3rd and 10 from the 47, and it is tossed out there. Caught, going to be short of the 1st down, and remember, they're going to have to get up and clock this because they cannot stop the clock. They have no timeouts remaining. Oh, flag down. That's going to stop the clock for a minute as Byron Farrell was involved in the stop. Let's see what happens after.
A lot of chippiness out there. Things are getting chippy. Looks like there's going to be some sort of, might be a dead ball foul against Bonnabel. Unsportsmanlike. There it is. Oh, it's against Riverdale. Excuse me.
Wow.
There you can see it right there. Somebody getting involved. A little extracurricular, a little shoving. Couldn't get a number of our...
Well, there was 2 numbers involved, and I don't know who it was called. Now, Cole Moses is one of the guys in there. He is one of the leaders.
Well, what that's going to do is that's going to pump that positioning of the ball 15 yards forward. It's going to actually, with 25 seconds left, it's going to give them a 1st down. They can take a couple of shots at that end zone, right?
Yep.
Again, not knowing the distance of the kicker of the Bonnabel Bruins, or they can take a shot at that boundary, get out of bounds, and give your guy a shot. They've started the clock. Why? I have no idea. Do they have the change set? Why are they rolling the clock?
Well, they just stopped it.
Well, they need to bring it back to 25 seconds.
Well, that's what Andre Anthony is making an argument for, I think, right now. I think he's calling. Let's see if he calls. The officials caught it, and they're going to reset the clock.
Yeah, there's no runoff or anything.
No, 11 seconds here. Let's see what they reset it to. Andre Anthony is making his case with the official.
They moved it to 24.
Well,
I always try to milk a couple extra seconds because I was a generous guy. Oh, they got the one. They got the one back on. There you go.
All right, they got it up to
See, if
25 seconds.
If it was 25 seconds, I would have tried to milk it back up to 30. But that was just me.
Were you successful?
Never.
But I like the effort.
Oh, it's all about effort, right?
All right, 34-yard line. You've got 25 seconds. You've got time for 3 plays here, so you don't have to rush it. But if you don't get out of bounds or the pass is complete, you've got to be thinking here, right?
Yeah, you got to know where you are. You got to have some situational awareness, and you got to know where the ball is. If it's incomplete, you can huddle up and call a play. If you catch the ball in bounds, you better get up there and spike that thing real fast.
Yeah. So Riverdale uses one of their timeouts here to regroup defensively. Bonnabel's out of timeouts. I'll tell you what.
There's a lot of options here. You can throw for the boundary, get out of bounds, right? Maybe take another one and kick a field goal depending on the distance of your kicker, or you can take your shots at your end zone.
Let me go visit Kenner. Just one more little plug here. We want to thank them for bringing tonight's Crescent City Sports game to you. Join us in Kenner for the 4th Annual Food Truck Festival, Sunday, November the 16th in Lake Town, with 34 food trucks, 4 bands, 24 craft vendors, and an expanded kids zones. Admission is free. Remember, that's Kenner's 4th Annual Food Truck, Sunday, November the 16th in Lake Town, the Food Truck Festival. Going to be fun.
I'm hungry.
Me too. All right, here we go. 25 seconds to play with. Can tie the score, can maybe take the lead. Oh, and they're going to give him an extra 5. There's a jump on the far side over there by Bolton, Darnell Bolton, I believe, jumped, and so did.
Well, there's an extra 5 yards. It gets you a little bit closer to where you want to be, or the distance for a kick, too.
Yeah, you're down to the 29-yard line. Pardon me, 29. If they have to, they've got an excellent kicker. They're in his range. Here is Perkins' pass to the end zone. He's got a man. It is caught. Touchdown! Karian Hollins, the wide receiver. They have not had the ball long enough to really throw to him a whole lot, but number one shows why he has got the speed and the hands to make a big play.
Riverdale rushes 3, drops 8 right. Too high coverage. Safety doesn't get across the top. The ball, where it's placed by Carl Perkins, is a thing of beauty. He drops a dime to Hollis. Hollis comes up with the catch of his life.
Well, we're tied now at 12.
Looks like they're going to go for 2.
Oh, they're going to go for 2. Worst case scenario, if you miss, you've got a tie with a whole half of football to play. On the other side of that coin, if you make this, it's just a big momentum getter going into the locker room. Hand off right side, just a wide run and stop short. Unbelievable. Hard to believe that they went for it and stopped. Cole on the play was Deron Harvey. He plays defense. Sometimes he comes in and plays offense. He can run the football too, but that time, puts his shoulder down, Wade, but they stop him. A gang tackle, 3 Riverdale Rebels on the tackle.
Well, everything was jammed up inside. He bounces it outside, and there was no place to go out there, and Harvey comes up and lays the wood, right? And we have a Riverdale Rebel that is down on the ground right now. We don't know who it is. It might be Swilly.
Swilly was the first guy of the 3
that laid him out.
Rebels that hit him. Let's see. We'll check to find out. But you have a guy who primarily plays defense on the other side, Deron Harvey, but they do move him in goal line situations, short yardage situations. They'll put him on offense to run the football. They did just there. He went wide instead of straight ahead, and that's where they gang tackled, led again on that by Dwayne Swilly, but we're not sure which Rebel is down as they check him out. All of this with 20 seconds.
Well, whoever it was really laid the wood, and I think he's kind of got his bell rung with the hit right there. But what a great hit! What a great defensive stand for the 2-point play by the Rebels.
Wow.
But let's go back to that pass again. I mean, that pass that Carl Perkins dropped to Hollins was right on the dime. It was a nice little skinny post route by Hollins from his X position. Did a nice job sticking keeping his post away from the safety who was coming across the top. He skinned it out, and the ball was dropped nicely to allow Hollins to run to the ball. That's the perfect epitome of throwing the receiver open. We've heard that term a lot. You hear it mentioned every Sunday, right? Well, we just saw a great example of it right here. Take a look at it right here, guys.
Here it is.
Great protection. And look how he is thrown open on the skinny post right there. And when you talk about dropping a dime, that is another phrase that you've just seen right there. That fits that particular throw and catch.
And that's as pretty as it absolutely looks. And let me see if it's possible if Matt can pull that replay up one more time, because I would really like to look at it, and I think our fans would too. As you talk about a connection that gets the job done, you haven't seen that as much in the first half of this game because the time of possession until this last 5 minutes or so was so heavily in favor of Riverdale with the football. Trying to get the number, and that might.
I think that's Swilly, number 8. Dwayne Swilly.
Yeah, that's Swilly, and Swilly was the first one that made he led the charge, as we said, in that 3-man gang tackle.
Yeah, he came up and laid the wood hard right there on the running back, Brewer. And boom, the rest of the guys came in to clean him up.
Look at his quarterback, Carl Perkins, coming out to put an arm around him and say, let me walk with you back to the bench. And that's the kind of camaraderie you have on both of these teams. And that's a credit to the coaches. Again, Andre Anthony of the Bonnabel Bruins and Mark Longo, also a first-year coach of the Riverdale Rebels. Something very, very special. We're down to the final 20 seconds here, and we are tied at 12. 2 touchdowns each team, 2 missed extra points by each team, and each team has given up the ball on a big, gigantic interception. So each one's got a big INT. It's been a fun-filled first half. So this will be Ivan Bonilla, the kicker, and he'll squib one. Pulled up at the 15. Not too where to go. Gang tackle there. And got a feeling they just let this clock run out and take a tie ball game into the halftime locker room.
Well, they do have 2 timeouts. It just all depends on how you want to press the issue, how conservative you want to be, or
how daring.
Yeah, daring you want to be, right? Looks like they're going to go ahead and take a knee, so they're going to be conservative with the issue.
The only thing about being daring right there is if you make a mistake, you could give up at least a field goal or something else that you don't want to do, and they're going to take the knee. Both teams are going to take a 12-12 tie ball game into the halftime locker room. And heck of a first half, Wade Kaiser. What do you think? Your comments, first of all, on the first half.
Look, we knew we were going to see 2 teams tonight really, bring the emotion and especially big plays to the field, right? And that's exactly what we've seen. And we've seen really 2 great running backs, 2 outstanding quarterbacks that stir the drink for both teams, and some big hits. A couple of chipper teams is getting chipper that's costing them some penalties, right? So, hey, I can't wait for the second half. This is going to be a fun 24 minutes for the second half. I had to do my math from a college, 15 minutes, 12 minutes in high school. So it'll be 24 minutes for the second half.
Yeah, it's going to be some fun to do that. And folks, we've got an interesting halftime show for you, and there's a lot of ball games going on. We're going to look at the scoreboard when we come back. We'll be getting some scores while we have this something very, very special to you. Or for you, rather. The Louisiana High School football regular season ends this weekend, so this is week 10 of 10, and the 8 playoff brackets will be announced on Sunday. Now, here is Lenny Van Gelder with a look at where things stand in the power rankings across the state.
Guys, thanks. We are less than 48 hours away from seeing the brackets that will tell us the road to the Dome for a couple of hundred high school football teams in Louisiana, over 8 brackets, 4 on the non-select side, 4 on the select side. And let's start with the non-select. And you see a lot of North Louisiana dominance at the top of the seedings in Division I non-select. Ruston, Parkway, Neville, and Northwood of Shreveport, all on the I-20 corridor there. Ruston has a tough one tonight against West Monroe, trying to hold on to that number 1 seed. Meanwhile, Parkway looking to close out an undefeated regular season. They head to Evangel Christian tonight. Neville has a difficult home game as well. They will take on Alexandria Senior High. On the local side, you look at Destrehan at number 5. They are taking on Thibodaux tonight, who sits at number 10 in the Division I non-select power rankings, also in that district. Terrebonne at number 9, and congratulations to Hanville. You see them at number 13 there. They had a Thursday night non-district win at Lakeshore, a huge game that the Tigers went on the road and won, and that wrapped up a first-round home game for Hanville next week. And you also have the ramifications of that as we transition over to Division II non-select. Lakeshore will still get a first-round bye in all likelihood as they sit at number 4, but they slip down from 2. The beneficiary of that loss are the Belle Chase Cardinals. They move up to the 2 line, and with a win over Kenner Discovery this evening, they likely wrap up that 2 spot because the teams at 1 and 3, North DeSoto and Iowa, have wrapped up their regular seasons. They could pick up a stray point here or there based on the results this evening in terms of who their opponents beat, of course. So it's still to be decided, but it clearly looks like there is a path for Belle Chase to put the road to the Dome all the way through Plaquemines Parish. Franklinton got to the Dome a year ago. They currently sit at number 7. They've got Hannon this evening and could perhaps wrap up home games in the first 2 rounds with a win. On the right side of your screen, you see Lutcher at 11, Pearl River at 14, trying to get wins this evening to wrap up first-round home games on their campuses. In Division 3 non-select, it's Gina at number 1, but 2 and 3 is very interesting there. St. James and Sterlington met in the state championship in this bracket a year ago. A thrilling game won by Sterlington. And if this stays the way it is, when the brackets come out on Sunday, those 2 teams will be on the same side of the bracket and potentially, as long as they can keep winning, would meet up in a semifinal game in beautiful downtown Vacherie. Now, Erath and Kinder are the 2 undefeated teams sitting in this division right now, but they are at 4 and 5, potentially in line for a quarterfinal matchup. Their power rankings not as high because they don't have the strength of schedule of the top 3 teams in this bracket. As you move on to Division 4 non-select, you see 2 teams that met at a Dome a year ago at 1 and 2 in Haynesville and South Plaquemine. South Plaque is the defending champion, has a difficult one tonight at home against Newman as they look to hold on to the number 2 seed, which would give them home games all the way through the semifinals and a chance to never leave Plaquemines Parish on their way to the Dome, perhaps. Haynesville has a home game tonight against Glenbrook. And on the right side of your screen, you see West St. John sitting at number 15 right now. They head to Centerville this evening looking for a win that would hold on to a first-round home game for them. It's a team with a lot of tradition in the postseason. We move over to the select side, and starting with Division 1, congratulations to the Edna Carr Cougars, wrapping up an undefeated regular season Thursday night. It was a hard-fought win at the Shrine on Airline as they defeated Archbishop Rummel. They will be the 1 seed. You see Alexandria Senior High, the team they beat at a Dome a year ago for the title, sitting at number 2. We mentioned they're making the trip to Monroe this evening to take on Neville, needing that win, likely to hold on to the 2 spot. 3 and 4, Turlings and Catholic High right now. And then 5 and 6, St. Augustine, John Curtis Christian. Those 2 teams meeting just down the road at the Shrine on Airline. Likely the winner jumps ahead of the other in terms of seeding. And then you've got Tioga at 7. Rummel dropped from 8 to 9 below St. Thomas More with last night's loss. And a lot of New Orleans area teams sitting there in that 9 to 16 range, potentially looking to host first-round games next week, including Riverdale, who you're seeing in action here tonight at number 13. Not on your screen, Bonnabel is currently at number 21 in the power rankings. In Division 2, St. Charles Catholic looking to wrap up a district championship tonight at Archbishop Shaw. They are in very good position to be the number 1 seed in Division 2. They come in to tonight with more than a 1-point lead over Loyola Prep, who is a tough one tonight against Northwood of Shreveport. So we mentioned Shaw. They are the defending champions. They are sitting at number 6. The other game tonight involving 2 of the top 8 seeds at least it stands right now in this bracket. It's the Holy War. Vanderbilt Catholic at number 3 currently. E.D. White currently at number 8. And again, on the select side, the top 8 seeds will get first-round byes, and 9 through 16 have first-round home games. You see Haynes at number 10, Carver at 16. Congratulations to L.B. Landry. Big win last night over John F. Kennedy. They moved to the 16 line, and that may very well lock up a first-round home game for the Buccaneers. In Division 3, Lafayette Christian, very familiar with playing well at this time of year. They're getting a forfeit win this evening over Lake Arthur that will improve them to 9-1, and they will be the number 1 seed in Division 3 select. Notre Dame is at number 2. Interesting one tonight going on in Tangi between Jules Sumner and A-Mead. Jules Sumner at number 3, A-Mead at number 10, a team that's very familiar with playing deep into the postseason. We'll watch to see how that one turns out. Newman, we mentioned, is at South Plaquemines this evening. They sit at number 6 currently. And Pope John Paul is a big one tonight as they try to hold on to that number 16 spot and get a first-round home game. As you move on to Division 4, it's a bracket that has, it's going to be different than a year ago, certainly, where the defending champion, Vermilion Catholic, is currently sitting at number 18 and likely headed on the road throughout the playoffs. Westminster Christian at number 1, Hamilton Christian currently 2. You got Catholic Point Coupee, who wrapped up their season last night at 4. Ouachita Christian took its first loss of the year, but still sitting at number 6 in the bracket. Watch out for Riverside Academy, sitting there at number 9. They will be at home in their first game, certainly, whether they creep up to the 8 line perhaps and get a first-round bye or stay at 9. They are a team to watch as they have just one loss on the year. We saw them all the way back in week 1 against Class 5A Terrebonne, and that is their one loss of the season. All the action tonight, all the news as it comes out over the weekend about the brackets, there's no better place to watch it or to get the information than at CrescentCitySports.com. Of course, keep up all evening with our scoreboard sponsored by the All-State Sugar Bowl. And again, Sunday as the brackets are announced, we will show them to you. We will give you the analysis and get you ready for the road to the Dome. Guys, back upstairs to you in the booth.
We're back at Joe Yenny Stadium here in Metairie, Louisiana, just outside downtown New Orleans. And at halftime of this big prep game, the Riverdale Rebels and the Bonnabel Bruins are tied at halftime 12-12. 2 touchdowns scored by each team and extra points missed all around. Both quarterbacks have been intercepted 1 time, which has made this an interesting first half. Wade, I thought time of possession was going to really be big, but I think Bonnabel made up for it on their last 2 possessions. It was very, very in favor of Riverdale early, but the Rebels held it for 14 minutes and 22 seconds, and Bonnabel 9 minutes and 38 seconds in the first half. That is unofficial, but it's close.
Yeah, the time of possession, and it's still going to be important here in the second half, right? These 2 teams at halftime will talk about controlling the ball, and I would think getting back to their run game, right? So, and if they can do that, they can, one or the other will end up controlling the time of possession. There will be no doubt about that's going to be a factor for this is all over.
Well, the very important games going on. Lenny Van Gilder just had that special feature for all of our fans watching tonight. And what do you have as we look at the scoreboard, Wade? Because
there's a lot. Yeah, Ken. There's a lot of games going on, and Lenny kind of filled you in on the whole idea of select, non-select, and all of the who's possible of getting buys and who's can. Will be home teams and all that type of stuff. So let's just run a couple of things past you to understand that there are 2 divisions in Division 1, select, non-select, as there are in all of the other classifications, right? Yes. 24 teams will get selected to play in the select bracket. The first 8 get buys. The next 8, 9 through 16, host first-round games. And then the last 8, 17 through 24, will travel on the road to that 9 through 16. Non-select, there will be 28 teams in the bracket. 1 through 4 get buys. 5 through 8 can host first 2 round games. 9 through 16 will host a first round. 17 through 28 is going to be on the road in that first round. So there are games going on around the state tonight that are affecting that wild card as well as the power rankings in select, non-select, in all of the divisions that we have in the state.
And that's very important because, remember, we're talking about 2 teams that are looking to win a district championship, right, which would help them PowerPoint-wise. But there are other games going on right now that's going to just make a difference as to whether a team can make the playoffs. And if you don't make the playoffs, this is it. Your season's over after tonight. You don't want that to happen. Correct.
Well, let's start off with some games from last night. That the big one that the number 9 team in the nation and the number 1 team in Select and in 5A and all the polls. Edna Carr put 35 points up on Archbishop Rummel last night to go into the Division I playoffs as the first-ranked team and the number 1 seed. So if anybody had any druthers on what happened in that ball game, that was a huge important. Another important one last night.
Let me put one rumor to rest right away. Edna Carr is not going to be – they have rejected the invitation to join the Southeastern Conference West Division. They're going to continue to play prep ball here in Louisiana.
Dude, you miss your calling as a stand-up, right? Another big.
They're that good, folks, and that's meant as a compliment to Bryce Brown and his program. Okay.
Another big one was in Baton Rouge last night. Catholic of Baton Rouge beat Zachary 41-7, right? And that's a huge one because that's where Catholic of Baton Rouge was battling to get enough power points to be in that top 8. There's one of those top 8 seeds on that bracket. So let's run through some of these particular games tonight, especially in 5A and in Division I select and non-select. How about this one at halftime? Reston 35, West Monroe 28. Woodlawn of Baton Rouge is down to Liberty by 1 point, 14-13. Now that's a big game, folks, because the loser of that game might not have enough power points to get onto the bracket. They're in the third quarter. That's, again, Liberty 14, Woodlawn of Baton Rouge 13. All right, another big one is right here in the city. St. Aug 21, John Curtis 13. They're vying for one of those buys that's on the bracket, right? Again, in the select division, top 8 get a bye. Second 8 get a home game. That game could be the difference. Whoever wins it, who gets one of those top 8 positions on that bracket and a bye. Another big one on the North Shore, St. Paul's 20, Covington 7. Up in Baton Rouge area, Denham Springs 19, St. Amant 14. Big one right here, Destrehan 28, Thibodaux 14. That's for the River Parish District Championship. Huge game right there. Evangel and Parkway, folks. Let's talk about that one for a second. You know, people down here in South Louisiana don't really know what's going on in the Shreveport area, but let me say something about Parkway. They've been scoring some points, right? Parkway is one of these teams that is kind of like Edna Carr. Edna Carr scores, Parkway scores. Edna Carr scores, Parkway scores, right? It could be a tennis match. Parkway right now is down 7 to Evangel. Evangel 27, Parkway 20. Parkway is the number 2 team in Division I non-select, as we saw just a few minutes ago that Lenny Van Gelder was talking about. Evangel is the number 12 team in Division I select. Huge game going on tonight in Shreveport.
Well,
Brother Martin 24, Holy Cross 3. You say, okay, so what's going on with that one, right? Brother Martin versus Holy Cross is going on at Gormley right now. Brother Martin is the number 11 seed in the Division I select. Holy Cross is number 20. Is it possible that Holy Cross suffers a loss? Can they drop 4 spots? Highly improbable, but that's going to put Holy Cross on the road. Brother Martin with a home game, right? And we all know
higher seeds always get the home field, right?
Well, no, the first top 16 teams get the home field. The second 8 play the first round at home in Division I select. So we all know, and we have seen it, I've been there, where you play somebody in the middle of the season that's in your district, you end up playing them in the first round of the playoffs. That could be a possibility on that bracket here next week. Acadiana Karen Crow 7-7 at halftime. That's a big one. Up in Alexandria right now, huge one. Neville 28, Alexandria 7. We all know Alexandria last year got beat by Edna Carr in the Division I select finals. Alexandria tonight, I said they were at Alexandria. My mistake. Alexandria is at Neville. Ash is the number 2 team in the Division I Select bracket. Neville is the number 3 team in the Division I Non-Select bracket, right? So they won't face each other in the playoffs. They're going to face each other tonight in the 10th game of the season. Huge implications for their district, but huge implications also for their power points, right? So the key word here are power points. Another huge one in Jefferson Parish that's going to take place tomorrow, everybody's going to be interested in it, is East Jefferson and L.W. Higgins will be playing tomorrow at 2 o'clock, I'm sure, at Hoss-Mitmas Stadium. So there's a rundown of some of the non-select and select Division I games that have taken place since last night and that are going on tonight. You know, everybody needs to go to Crescent City Sports Scoreboard. You can get it on the app. You can go get it on your computer. It's the best scoreboard in the state. You can get up-to-date scores in a moment, and you can keep abreast of everything that's going to be taking place, because there are games tonight that are going to have monumental consequences on what's going to be taking place next week in the playoffs, because that will be Week 11, first round of the playoffs for all schools in all divisions.
And if the numbers get too deep, just click on the picture of Wade Kaiser, and he will teach you how to argue with an official and lose. But that's everybody loses who argues with the officials, but Wade did it with class. And that's what you got to love about him.
Yes, I did do it with class.
You did. You know, we talk about two coaches. We haven't had a chance to talk about them because the first half was moving so quickly here. But you talk about Andre Anthony and the difference he's made at Bonnabel. This is his first year as the defensive coordinator, first year as a head coach. They gave it to him, and the kids were just struggling to really get over the hump. They were 5-5 last year. They, at Bonnabel, have never won more than 5 games in a season for so long they can't remember. So to be 6 wins right now, 6-3 going into this Week 10 game, they have bought into what he's trying to do. And he said he didn't want this to be the reason, but because he had success at LSU in the national championship team in 2019 of Coach Ogeron, they've watched the highlights, they've seen the social media, and they believe in him because of that. But he tells them, and this is important, Wade, Andre Anthony tells them it's not the national championship. What I want you all to understand is what it took to get there. That's what I really want you to know, because he came from a little bitty school called Miller McCoy. I'm from New Orleans. You're from New Orleans. I don't know if you remember Miller McCoy.
Oh, yes,
I do not.
Ain't there no more.
Yeah, it ain't there no more. So, as Frank Davis used to say. So, yes, without question, he said, I came from Miller McCoy. Miller McCoy dropped out, and Edna Carr took me in. It was Bryce Brown's first year at Edna Carr, and he said, I said, Coach, I don't have a place to play. So I went to Edna Carr, played there for Bryce Brown, and from there got the jump up to LSU. And he said, you know what? Just doing things the right way at Edna Carr. I got an offer from Tennessee, Ole Miss. Ole Miss was his first offer. Tulane was his second. That was his first 2 offers. Ended up going to LSU because of his relationship with Coach Ogeron and some of the other coaches who were recruiting him there. But he said it was the work, it's the effort, it's the day-to-day, it's all the things you do. We were so close as a team at LSU that we felt like we were together 24/7. There was a bond, there was a closeness, there was a family. We would go to the wall for each other all the time, and that's what he is trying to instill at Bonnabel. Same thing with Mark Longo over at Riverdale. He's a long-time Riverdale assistant coach, 23 years. He coached track for 20 years at Riverdale. He coached a little bit of soccer at Riverdale. He was as an assistant coach when the head coaching job came open this time around. It didn't take the AD and everybody else long to realize this is our guy. You can feel the passion, and he's loaded with a bunch of Riverdale former players on his coaching staff. Parents are coming back. They're so excited. They're getting kids to come to Riverdale and to stay. Same thing at Bonnabel, and that's the important thing, because we don't want to say it, but everybody's trying to get your players now to go to their high school too. And it's kind of a small version of the transfer portal, but it's not like in college. But everybody's working on somebody else. And for these They call them non-select, select, all those. But many people, as they watch this broadcast, will know them as private or parochial or Catholic or public. These were public schools, and they got rated more than anybody else. They're doing a better job now of holding on to their players and building programs like this, where these two players 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, they would never be in this situation where they're battling each other for a district championship, and tonight they are.
Well, a principal told me long ago that the tempo of a school is usually set early in the year, not only by the principal walking the hallway, but how well and how not wins and losses, but how well your football program is run. The football program sets tempos for schools. You
better believe it.
Having been in it, been in the business for 35 years of coaching young men and being in schools, the tempo is set early in the year, and in most instances, it is your principal and your football coach walking the hallways that are setting that tempo, not only just discipline-wise, but energy-wise. And Paul Longo and Andre Anthony are two of those guys that are walking that hallway, setting that tempo, and they have been setting that tempo all year long, and you can see it here tonight. Great crowd, great energy, great fan support from these two great Jefferson Parish schools. And that's a credit to Andre Anthony and Mark Longo.
Demarion Williams going deep for Bonnabel. And he'll be joined back there by Raheem Holmes.
Well, Bonnabel's going to have a great chance to double up here, right? So they score right towards the end of the quarter.
Yep.
And now they got a chance to get the ball back. So, how important was that interception and that pass that Carl Perkins dropped on a dime to Corian Hollins?
Let's see if they kick it deep to Raheem Williams. He's got speed. He's standing at about the 7-yard line. To your left, you can't see that, as David Diaz gets set to send it deep. Again, he's got the leg. He can put it in the end zone if he wants. Let's see what the play is. 5 people between the 35 and 20-yard line, so the Bonnabel Bruins expecting a shorter kick. Let's see what happens. And it will be a little onside kick to get things started, but Bonnabel jumps on the ball, and they will have great field position at their own 48-yard line. I like the razzle-dazzle.
Well, taking a page out of the playbook of Sean Payton, right, with Geronimo, or whatever he called it in 2009 when he kicks the onside right after the halftime with the Colts in the Super Bowl, right? But it didn't quite work out well for Riverdale. But let's look at the other side of the thing. Look where Bonnabel takes the ball over at, right?
Gotta love it.
Best field position of the night for starting a drive on their own without a turnover, right? So this is a huge, huge turn of events for Bonnabel.
Carl Perkins, the quarterback, Tyree Brewer. And on first down, big rush. Slants off where the rush was coming. No one there. He's got the first down. He's got a lot more, and he's finally run out of bounds inside the 30-yard line of Riverdale. What a gain that time.
If you're going to bring the blitz, you better make sure that you are gap sound. Here comes the blitz off the edge at the top of your screen, right? They were not gap sound. There was nobody refitting after the blitz. That allows Brewer to bounce out to the outside to his left and skate off and pick up a huge first down.
You better believe it. Here we go the other way. Brewer again. Lost the football. It's stripped out of his hands. Scramble for it. Who's got it? Let's wait for the official call. Somebody reached in with the hand and just stripped that ball out. It's looking like
Looks like Bonnabel's going to retain
Bonnabel
possession.
retains possession. Wow, watch this.
Again, the blitz, right? You run right past it.
There's the strip.
You can see the strip right there, but Cole Moses blitzes and runs right past Brewer. Doesn't make the hit. There's no replacement after the blitz.
I believe it was Dwayne Swilly that reached out and stripped it, but not sure.
Yeah, Swilly might have got a paw in on it, but there was nobody on the blitz replacement. You bring a blitz, you got to bring somebody in there to make sure you're gap sound. Riverdale's not gap sound off the blitz, and that gives Brewer a big hole to be able to run through.
After that big 24-yard gain on first down, it got another first down. Now it's 2nd down and 1. This time the play action to Brewer and an overthrow of the intended receiver, Raheem Williams.
Trying to set up the tunnel screen. Did you see how he was coming into the ball? Trying to get behind his linemen who were flying out towards the ball? Some people call that jailbreak screen, tunnel screen, whatever you want to call it. It's a very popular screen you see a lot on Saturday afternoons with the athletes that they're throwing the ball around to there. Ball just was not passed well. It was off target.
3rd down 1 at the 19-yard line of Riverdale. Brewer is the running back. Perkins, with the clap of the hands, gets the low snap, picks it up, throws, got his man, touchdown! What another perfect throw by Carl Perkins. My goodness. And he gets it to Raheem Williams for the score.
Started with the protection. Riverdale blitzes again. Here comes the blitz right there. It gets picked up nicely by the left guard, but the ball is on a dime right there, right in between the 1 and the 5 to Raheem Williams on the quick slant, and Bonnabel takes the lead. Let's see if they're going to go for 2. That left guard right there, I think that was Javion Parks that did a great job picking up the blitz. It was either Javion Parks or Ricardo King, the sophomore, 6'1", 240-pound left guard that picks up the blitz.
They're going for 2. Flag thrown, and they'll blow the play dead.
It's illegal procedure. They're trying to get people on and off the field. They're just not set up in order to be able to run the play. You're better off just taking a timeout, right? So now they're going to back the thing up, and it's either going to force you to kick it or it's going to make the play harder, and I think they're going to send out the PAT team, right? If you don't have your personnel right, if you can't get your communications right, that's why you've got 3 timeouts. Go ahead and use one.
Look, at this point, just put the ball through, get 7, and that's what they will try to do right here with Ivan Bonilla. At halftime when they came out, he was easily kicking them in from the 30-yard line, so this should not be a problem for him. He's a good, strong-legged kicker, and he sends it through. So here's your first lead of the night for the Bonnabel Bruins, coming right here at the start of the 3rd quarter, 19-12 over Riverdale. How about that?
Well, yeah, and it started with the protection, Ken. I mean, I can't say enough about the way they picked the blitz up on that particular play, which allowed Perkins to set his feet and just put a dart on to Raheem Williams on the slant, right? I mean, that's huge. I look at things like that. The pass is nice. The route is good. But I tell you what, I love to see those offensive linemen do their job when they execute things the way they're coached. Well, let's see if Riverdale's going to answer here, right? The thing you got to do is you got to get your war horse, Byron Perilliet, going in this half, in this series, to make a statement for your offense.
We talk about momentum.
Yeah, momentum.
You score going into the halftime, then you come out, you take the opening kickoff, get a big old 24-yard gain on the first play or the second play from scrimmage. You get a 4-play drive. You go 52 yards because the onside kick by Riverdale did not work. So they only got to go 52 yards. They do it in 4 plays, score, and take their first lead of the ball game. Now it's Riverdale's job to take the momentum back. And they'll start on this kick return from the 14-yard line. Oh, he lost the football. There's Torrance signal, but I think he got it back. Let's see. people getting their hands out, stripping the football, and I love to see that from a defensive play.
I don't think anybody stripped the ball. I think he just
Nobody got a
lost
hand
it.
on that one?
No, I don't think so. He did a little 360 turn. Watch the 360 turn here as he bounces off to his right.
Oh, I did. I thought he stuck his
right there.
Yeah.
Woo!
You see,
no. Ball got hit out. You're correct.
I
the
thought
ball
somebody
got hit
it.
out.
There you go.
That looked like number 90 stripped that ball or knocked the ball out. That was Isaiah Tobias that reached around and knocked it out. You're absolutely correct, my friend. Your eyes are awesome.
Man. 26-yard line, 1st and 10. Get lucky every once in a while, right? Straight up the middle. There's a spin move by Perilliat, and he'll push up to about the 30, let's see where they mark it, the 37-yard line. So, check that, 32-yard line. Gain of 6, 2nd down, 4.
Yeah, I think Kenyon Harper made that tackle, but that's what they've got to do is to stay in between those chains, run that ball on 1st down, and rely on that offensive line to do what it's done in the first half and get that ball into Perilliat's hands.
Yeah, we're trying to keep his total yardage, folks, but we lost it. They go so fast here sometimes. And Perilliat with the ball, he gets it right to the 1st down marker and re-stop. Let's see where they mark it. Will it be 3rd down in inches, or does he have enough for the 1st down to move the chains? Quincy Jackson trying to stop him from getting across that 1st down marker, but it is a 1st down up at the 37-yard line. Now we're seeing something we didn't see a lot of in the first half, just a slow, sustained drive by one of these teams. And here is the give to Signal. And Torrin Signal run out of bounds.
Look, it's hard to run east and west on the Bonnabel Bruins.
Yeah, it really
right?
is.
Because these cats can run you down. You saw Lee coming like a bullet out of a gun right here. You can see all those jerseys. Look at that. Zip, 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 boom. Bang, right? And that isn't the way you attack these guys. You got to attack them downhill. So now you're, what, here we are.
10-yard loss.
Yeah, another Uber ride. That isn't the way to attack this defense. Bonnabel has just got a ton of team speed.
2nd and almost 20. And boom, they're waiting for that one, but can't make the tackle. And Perilliat tries to spin out of it, holds his balance, and gets back to about the line of scrimmage.
Again, the horizontal passing game is hard to run on these guys because they run so fast horizontally. Downhill, vertical throwing routes. They don't, you don't have to throw bombs every time. You want to be able to throw things that are going, downfield, not laterals and sideline passes like that, because the guys in the gray, those cats can run.
3rd down, and to use your terminology here, an Uber ride to the Amtrak office, and then you take the train the rest of the way. It's a long way to go. They need 20. They've done it before. A little left-handed push pass out intended for Brian Jackson. Didn't get it. I believe it's incomplete.
Well, they got behind the chains on what? 1st down, right? And here we're looking at the results of it, and you just, it's hard to operate like this when you're a downhill running team.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, look,
you get this far behind the chains, it's hard to make it up.
You'll see this tomorrow. And then you're going to see it on Sunday, right? Everybody in those leagues can fly, right?
Yeah.
So
4th down and forever, and they'll blow timeout called by Riverdale, but right before the snap. So David Diaz, your kicker, is ready to punt that ball away, but evidently somebody on the Riverdale side saw something and they didn't like it, so they called timeout.
What I saw was not a very good snap, right? That didn't look too good. Hopefully he can get that right before they come out and snap that ball again for a punt.
Well, let's see what's going to happen. What are the implications as we look at PowerPoints for the loser of this ball game?
Well, they're both going to be in the playoffs. What Riverdale's looking at is they're looking at making sure that they are in that second 8, so they can get a home playoff game. So that would help them solidify one of those spots. Bonnabel will probably, even if they win or they lose, will probably be on the road for their first round.
Very low snap. He's got to rush it. He does get the punt off. Karian Hollins will grab it in at the 29 and falls down there.
I'll tell you
what, fall backwards.
He got his glove down on that one. That was a ground ball hit to the shortstop, right? He scoops that thing off the turf. It rolled back to the punter, and he gets it out. Great job by the punter athletically to get that ball downfield on a very nice punt, and it's going to force Bonnabel to at least have to drive 30 yards.
Yeah, David Diaz gets a lot of credit for that one because that was a really poor snap, and it could have been another disaster. So again, Bonnabel with the football, and they start at their own 28-yard line, but they have their first lead of this ball game, 19-12. They've got a little momentum. Riverdale has not been able to get anything going since that failed onside kick to start the second half. So on first down, here we go. Big hole up the middle. And somehow sidesteps a tackle at the 35 and gets an extra 5 yards out of it. That's Tyree Brewer, just showing why he's Tyree Brewer. He's all the way up to the 39-yard line, a gain of 11.
So the question is, how do you stop this, right? Riverdale walked 8 down into the box and went man coverage across the board. And then you got a mismatch out there with your wide receivers on those Riverdale secondary guys, So, looked like the blitz was coming then. So it's a toss-up game on how you're going to stop Brewer.
Such a good back, and there's such talented players on both teams here. And we're telling you, college coaches, if you're not recruiting some of these guys, you need to be, just on what we're seeing tonight. Little toss out to the left side, a gain of 2 on the completion.
Hey, look, Cole Moses has done a yeoman's job tonight. He's done a nice job on the run. He does a nice job right there on the pass, on the quick hitch to the Bonnabel receiver coming up to make a nice hit for really not much of a gain.
Kendrick Robertson in at one of the receiving spots. There's Brewer again, trying to pick his hole. Finds it, pushes a few people past the 45 up to the 47-yard line, 2 yards short of a first down. So it'll be 3rd down and 2 for Bonnabel here at their own 47-yard line.
Look, Brewer's got a little shake to him too, right? He runs hard downhill, but he's got that nice little jump cut that can make you miss.
Here we go. After the person floats out, empty backfield, there's the toss over to Hollins again, and Hollins goes down quickly at the line of scrimmage. So do you take a chance? Cole Moses, we've called his name how many times?
I was going to say, guess who made that play?
And, yeah, before you could say it, there he is.
Cole Moses is a good football player. This kid's 6 foot, 200 pounds. He's a senior.
Leading tackler. Coming into this game, 90 tackles, nobody else close. The nearest tackler to him was 4 other players with 70 each.
Yeah, I'm impressed with this cat. Look, he read that thing.
They're going for it on 4th.
Yeah, he read that thing from the get-go, and he got out there and made the play. Here we go.
4th and 2, not waiting to try to draw him offside. There's the little slice, and looked like it was going to be a tackle in the backfield. Is nothing more than Brewer pushing forward for the first down, way down to the Riverdale territory, near the 40-yard line. They're going to mark it at the 42-yard line. A big 4th down play right there. How big was that for a first down, Bonnabel Bruins?
Did I say he had a jump cut? Watch the jump cut right here by Brewer. Right, boom, right there. You saw that?
Wow.
He made Mylan Allen miss in the backfield. Little jump cut to his left, stuck his right foot in the ground and jumped.
Well, a new set of downs at the Riverdale 42-yard line.
Looks like we got an injury down. Somebody's down, might be with a cramp.
Yeah, Gavin Darby, a freshman defensive back, one of the few real youngsters who gets a lot of playing time on this Bonnabel team. So as the staff looks at him, it gives us a chance to remind you that tonight's coverage on Crescent City Sports is brought to you by Game On Social Hub at 2421 Veterans in Kenner, with a full-service restaurant, arcade, games, bowling, axe throwing, and laser tag. Game On has it all, folks. They're open till midnight tonight. And on Monday nights at 6, join Ken Trahan with special guests for the Saints Hall of Fame show on the 106.7 The Ticket, live from Game On Social Hub. And this week's guest is Rich Maudie, former Saints, Rich Maudie.
Rich Maudie. Boy, was he a great player, huh?
Penn State. With Drexel Gonzalez, that was down.
Got a score from Memphis tonight. I think they're playing in Memphis, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, they are in Memphis.
Tulane up 21-14 on the Memphis Tigers. How huge? I mean, Tulane fighting for its playoff life right now, right? So a huge game. Memphis, great football team in the American Conference. They're fighting for their playoff life. It's going to be a great weekend of football everywhere. It's a great Friday. It was a great Thursday night of football, great Friday night of football. And tomorrow, of course, college, and then we have the NFL on Sunday.
So it is a first down. Bonnabel Bruins football. As we said, they're working with their first lead after their last drive, where they scored their first drive of the second half, and they're just, again, slowly, methodically driving down the field. And they'll do that to you, and all of a sudden, boom, they'll use the great passing arm of Carl Perkins, and something big happens.
Well, they're controlling the clock right now. We talked about who's going to control the clock in the second half. Now it's Bonnabel that has taken that momentum. They're running the football in between the tackles with a lot of success.
And there's a toss out to Hollins. Hollins tries to stutter step, but nowhere to go. He's inside the 35-yard line for maybe a gain of 2.
Guess who cleaned that up? Cole Moses. Flies from inside out and makes a great tackle. Hey,
flag thrown right there. If you just saw it down at the 42-yard line, the referee just tossed the flag. So what's this one all about?
Some sort of unsportsmanlike conduct penalty? Ay, ay, ay.
Wow.
We've had 3 or 4 of these tonight, and they are costly.
I mean, this came from the referee behind the line of scrimmage, behind the quarterback, behind everybody.
And they're talking to Cole Moses, and they're taking him off the field.
Wow. Yeah, Moses, as you can see up in the upper right, it's just off your camera sight that we can see, is coming off the field. But that is a huge, huge penalty. It puts it all the way down to the 17-yard line, 18-yard line.
Look, this is too big of a ball game for both sides. These guys got to learn how to hold their water. This is just ridiculous with the unsportsmanlike and the personal fouls.
First and 10 of the Riverdale 18, empty backfield. What does Parkins do? He's going to throw left. He's got his man, and that's Harper around the left side, and he's into the end zone, touchdown. When they go to the pass, they make it count.
Well, they had leverage out there. They had 2 for 2, right? They had 2 blockers in gray jerseys on 2 white jerseys, and then you got a receiver with the ball with speed. Watch, 1-2, 1-2. Look at the good blocking right there. Nicely done by the guys in gray, those wide receivers. It looked like Hollins and Harper were out there doing the block. Harper did the scoring. I think that was Raheem Williams also out there blocking. Nicely done. Had the leverage. Nice bubble pass. 6 points. Bonnabel.
Well, a big lead opened up by the Bonnabel Bruins now, 25-12. The extra point can add one more. It is kicked up, and it is good by Ivan Bonilla with 3 minutes and 37 seconds to play in the third quarter. The Bruins of Bonnabel have opened up a 26-12 lead over the Riverdale Rebels.
I'm not sure if Cole Moses was not ejected from that football game.
Well, then we probably won't know. We'll try to get it for you if it's at all possible, folks.
Because whatever he did or whatever he said caused an immediate reaction by the white hat.
Yes.
And it was a dead ball foul, and they immediately escorted number 0 Cole Moses off the field, and he might not be back. What a huge loss for Riverdale defensively. He was the guy, he's their leading tackler. He was the guy that flies all over the field and makes plays on the outsides of the hash for Riverdale, right? And if he's not on the field, that's a huge loss. Plus, on top of that, he's one of their emotional leaders, right? He's one of the guys that gives them their emotional spark.
8 plays, 72-yard drive. Took 5 minutes and 25 seconds. So time of possession, yep, Bonnabel has figured out how to play that game too. And now the Bruins will send it back to Riverdale. This started off in the second half with the score tied at 12. Riverdale comes out. They've got to kick off because they had won the toss and chose to receive. They tried the onside kick. It failed. Bonnabel had great field position at their own 48-yard line, took it down and scored, and then took advantage of that second drive to go again. So here's a late flag thrown away from the football as two players mixing it up on the near side of the field as the play takes place on the far side of the field.
Yeah, they're going to get a holding penalty, I believe, on Riverdale.
Yeah, they had
away from the play. I mean,
far away from the play,
and it might be a personal foul too. No, unsportsmanlike, maybe. Who knows? Because it's just things are just way too chippy and they're out of hand with some of these guys. The officials need to get a hold of this quickly before this turns into an ugly scene.
Well, I think that's what the official did just now because the Riverdale player. Did they mark off the penalty?
Not yet. They're discussing it.
Because both players were really mixing it up. As a matter of fact,
right.
You had a Bonnabel player laying on the Riverdale.
Here's our look. No, they're going back to talk about it.
And, of course, it was away from the play, so our eyes are following the play. And we don't see that until the very end of the play when two players are kind of wrestling and getting up.
Personal foul. Bonnabel.
Yeah.
Personal foul.
Taking an offset.
Offsetting. Okay, so, here's the deal. Number one, with all these penalties that are especially dead ball fouls, or live ball fouls that are turning, it's taking away the momentum that you are gathering from each one of your teams, right? So
yes.
These guys, to put it bluntly, they got to chill out and play football and quit all this other nonsense.
Yeah. Perilliat, the great running back, takes it right up the middle. He'll get a few. This game started with Riverdale scoring the first 2 touchdowns. They went for 2 after the first touchdown, missed it, then had the extra point blocked. They led 12-0. This is all in the first half. Bonnabel came back, scored 2 touchdowns, missed both extra points, going for 2 in the second one and missing that. And nowhere to go on the right-hand side. Riverdale's ground game has just been shut off that time by Marvin Causey. How many times have we called his name tonight?
Yeah, he's having a great night. Causey and crew, right? A lot of guys in gray jerseys show up right after he makes the initial hit. Riverdale, in order to get back into this thing, they got to get their guy going, Byron Perilliat. They got to get him going.
Yeah, and they've got third down and long. Third down and a long 6. You got to get to the 33-yard line for a first down. Otherwise, this is going to be a 3 and out. There's the snap. And the play blown dead. Flag down.
It's a delay of game. They didn't get the ball off. 40-second clock runs out. They can't get it off. They didn't get it off. So they're going to back it up. They seem to be discombobulated. Is that a word?
Yes, it is.
There you go.
And a magical one for the time, and it well describes exactly what's going on right now. This is not the same Riverdale team that came out in the first half and jumped out to a 12-0 lead. And I don't know if the failed onside kick and the quick Bonnabel touchdown after that is taking just a little bit of the wind out of their steam. So how do you get it back, Wade?
You get it back with your horse. You got to get a couple positive plays going.
3rd and 11, and they're in trouble. This is going to be a big sack. Forward progress is going to be marked at about the 9-yard line.
Well, you got to get positive plays going, and that's not a positive play. It started with bad protection.
Deron Hervey.
Yeah, Deron Hervey there. Marvin Causey there. Protection breaks down. Can't get the ball out. But you see, it starts on 1st and 2nd down. If you're not positive on 1st and 2nd down, and the guy that they got to bring into that 1st and 2nd down is Perilliat. They got to get that horse going on 1st and 2nd down to get back to doing positive things. That's the answer to your question, Ken. Remember the bad snap last time. Oh, put it on the ground again.
Another bad snap, and this one's kicked out of the back of the end zone, and that'll be a safety. Oh, my goodness.
When it rains, it's pouring, and it's pouring right now for Riverdale.
Wow. So the punt turns into a safety.
Bounce, can't handle it. He's trying, instead of just falling on it, he's trying to pick it up. He's got to be coached in that. He's got to understand that if that ball's down, I just fall on it and I take the safety that way, because you know how close that is to turn it into 7?
Yes, that close.
Right, you just fall on that and you give up the 2. It got lucky that it only ended up being 2.
Well, here's the bad news. As a safety, they got to punt the ball back to Bonnabel, right?
With great field position.
Wow.
It's a free kick. It can be punted, or it can be kicked off of a tee, or it could be kicked off of a hold, or it could be drop kicked. Have you seen a drop kick lately?
You know, I have not. But you know,
last one I saw was Doug Flutie and the Buffalo Bills.
Okay, here's a test question for you. If I got it right, okay? The drop kick and one other kick is very rarely used in football. What's the other kick that's rarely used in football? Free kick. A fair catch.
Fair catch kick.
Fair catch kick.
Yeah, I did it.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did it with a Tulane alum that kicked at Tulane. Can you name that young man's name?
It's on the tip
I
of my...
coached him at St. Charles Catholic.
Oh, man, hold on. Oh. All right, give it to me so we're not...
Casey Roussel.
Casey Roussel, absolutely.
We did a fair catch free kick at St. Charles one night. I had to explain it to the officials.
They're going off the tee, and it will be Brewer. Oh, look at that sidestep, reverse the field, and he's going to end up getting about 10 extra yards out of that, almost 15 extra yards out of that neat step at the very end. My goodness.
Boy, does he have some shake, huh?
How about a shake and bake, if you want to call it that? That's exactly what it is right there.
Well, here's the good news. Back in the game is Cole Moses, so he was not ejected. Coach took him off the field, probably had a few words with him, and hopefully got his attitude straight on whatever happened on that unsportsmanlike.
But again, look at the field position. Just unbelievable at the 47-yard line to start the half on the failed onside kick. They started at their own 48-yard line. This drive now with a 28-12 lead over Riverdale. They're starting at their own 47. In motion goes Harper. That one broken up. Farrell breaks it up. That's Sebaran Farrell. He is a triplet. His brother, Seaur Farrell, also on the team, and they have a sister.
A triplet?
Yes.
Wow.
Good coach knowing.
Well, he read that screen perfectly, came in and made a great play on it.
Second down, 10 at the 47. They're going to go back to the ground game with a big hole. And Brewer right through it, all the way down to the 35-yard line. My goodness, Swilly on a tackle.
Boy, is he explosive, huh? I mean, he hit that thing downhill, and before you know it, all of a sudden he's at the second level, and he's running past you or putting a move on you, and still going.
18-yard gain, first down And right now, Bonnabel can do no wrong. And Riverdale just has to find a way, as you said, to find it again. That time Moses looking like he wanted to blitz, had to hold up, gets blocked well. There's a pass just off the fingertips of the intended receiver. My goodness, Farrell covering.
So Byron Farrell again in position. I don't know if he might have reached out and grabbed the hip of the receiver, right, and got away with one. But, it's all in good fun. But, I mean, great coverage right there. Had a little man coverage on the receiver right there, and it was nicely covered by Byron Farrell. And here we go into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, third quarter has just come to an end, and if you're coaching right now the Riverdale Rebels, what do you tell them in this quarter break to try to get them out of this funk that they're in and just get that first half Riverdale team back and shaking and baking again?
You get them to play hard, right? You just tell them they got to keep playing hard, and you as a coach, you've got to put them in a position where they can play hard. You got to dial up things that you know that you can have success with, and you make sure that the guys that you're going to be putting the ball in the hands to offensively are the ones that are going to give you that best opportunity to have success. And on defensively, you've got to dial up the things that you have had success with here tonight.
Well,
put them in a position to make plays. Put them in a position, that's what you've got to do, and then you implore them to play hard.
Yeah, this Riverdale team got off to such a great start. They jumped out 12-0, 2 touchdowns, 2 missed extra points. They went for 2 on the first one, didn't get it. Kicked the second when it was blocked. Still led 12-0, still had the momentum. Then Bonnabel got back into it, scoring 2 touchdowns of their own, missing both extra points. We were 12-12 going into the half. In the second half, it's been all Bonnabel. An onside kick by Riverdale to start the second half. Tried to catch Bonnabel by surprise. Didn't work. Gave him a short field of 48 yards. Bonnabel scored 4 plays later, but boom. And all of a sudden had their first lead and scored again, and now leads it after the safety 28-12. Bonnabel with the ball. They continue to go. Now, you expect to see more of a running game, ball-eating offense.
Yeah,
Cole
no doubt.
Moses on the stop.
We spoke about how Riverdale controlled the tempo and controlled the clock in the first half. Well, it's obviously the tempo is being controlled by Bonnabel, and the clock, the time of possession, is being controlled by Bonnabel in the second half. It just isn't on the scoreboard. It's being shown. They're winning at the line of scrimmage right now, so they're controlling the clock.
Third down. About 8. And there's the toss to the right side. Maybe a yard on that one to the 31-yard line. And Dwayne Swilly on the stop. We're looking at fourth down. A little out of the range for the Bonnabel kickers here. So you either got to go for it or punt it. Does it hurt you to go for it here? Look, if you can only gain a few yards and don't get the first, you kick it in the end zone, it's coming out. The exchange, that it just doesn't, the plus-minus yardage doesn't make a difference. I think you go for it here.
I'm dialing up something that's going to get me 5 yards.
That's what you want.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm dialing up something, and I think it needs to involve Tyree Brewer.
Well, let's see what it's going to be. He's going to throw it long. He's got one-on-one coverage and incomplete, thrown behind the player, but a flag goes down as Byron Farrell had a hand on the jersey and pulled the jersey.
Oh, yeah, he pulled it off of him.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw that stretching from up here.
Yeah.
I mean, I even saw that. I mean, jeez.
I mean, so, and the thing is, the pass was a little behind him. I don't think you needed to do that. It's probably an incomplete pass anyway, and you're taking over.
Well, it was called defensive holding, so it's going to go back. The point where it is going to be assessed from is from the point where the ball was snapped, so it's going to give them a first down anyway. Remember that it's not an automatic first down.
Wow.
So, but it did give them the first down because the assessed yardage obviously moved the chains.
Puts it down to the 20-yard line, edge of the red zone of Riverdale. More important for Bonnabel, they keep the ball and they get to eat a little bit more clock. And here's a slice off the left side. And once again, it's Tyree Brewer, 5'10", 175. That young man just keeps pushing forward. He's so hard to bring down.
A lot of success off the hard dive, right? Watch this. You can see right there just giving the ball, getting a body on a body, a helmet on a helmet, getting some movement, turning that defensive end out on the fan block, which is creating a nice hole right off tackle for Brewer. They've
8-yard gain to the 12, Wade.
Yeah, they've torn that play up tonight. They've had a lot of success running right there off the left-hand side of their offensive line.
Give to Brewer again, and he'll just spin into the line. He's very close to the first down. He needed to get to the 10, and it's looking like it's right on the 10-yard line. We haven't got the official yet. Joey Phillips on the tackle. Look at that spin move.
Looks like you on the dance floor.
Except he kept his balance.
Wow.
Just a tad bit short. Third, and maybe the nose of the football for a first down.
They're really working that 40-second clock now.
Yeah, they're just eating all the clock. They're in field goal range. Oh, low snap, picked up well. Lots of time. He will throw to the end zone, and it is incomplete.
Threw that away. Nobody was open. They rushed 3, drop 8, everything covered back there by a white jersey. Nice job by the secondary of Riverdale, but a better job by Carl Perkins recognizing downfield, nothing's there. Let's don't put the ball in a position that's going to hurt us. Let's just sail that thing out the back of the end zone, and we can either kick a field goal or I would give it to Mr. Brewer and run downhill. I'd go for it right here.
Yeah,
because I've got a chance right here if I'm Bonnabel to put the dagger in between the shoulder blades.
Now, look, a lot of times, number 9, Deron or Hervey will get it in short yardage. He'll get it again. There goes Hervey, and he's into the end zone, touchdown. Is it Hervey? Gabriel Adams hit him but couldn't stop him.
Let's see who it was right there in the full house backfield. That looks like number 9.
Yeah, that's Hervey.
Yeah, that's Hervey running tall, 6 foot, 200 pounds, running downhill, getting a stat, getting in that end zone.
He's a defensive guy, but this year Andre Anthony wanted to move him to some offense on short yardage and goal line situations so that college coaches could see just a little bit more. Bunch of flags go down on the extra point. So much laundry on the field. It'll take 2 days of washing to clean it. I don't know what happened on this one, but everybody threw a flag.
Well, it's going to be dead ball. There's going to be some more unsportsmanlike going on. It'll be cessed on the kickoff.
The only two things that are yellow that didn't go down on the field is my shirt and your shirt.
Hey, there you go. These guys are going to have to ice down tonight, these officials, for throwing so many flags. Here we go. Here's our call. Personal foul, Riverdale. Somebody got ejected. Somebody was ejected. So that means somebody threw a fist intentionally. That's what forces that ejection.
Wow.
Didn't get a number. See if we can get a replay on that. Maybe we can get a number and see who for Riverdale was ejected. Well, somebody got ejected. It's just sad to see it end that way after you've had such a great season. These are going to be 2 playoff teams. You just don't want to go into the playoffs on a downer like that with the ejection.
9-play, 53-yard drive. Took 4 minutes and 35 seconds. And it was Gervey who went in for the score from the 10-yard line. And how tough is it right there? Now you're kicking off
Yeah, well,
from their side, the field, for the Riverdale side of the field. If you're going to try an onside kick, you can. But
no,
in a rivalry game like this, I think you just want to get it deep and run some clock.
I used to like to sky it right here, try to drop it down there at about the 5 or 10 yard line and see if I can't get my coverage to it.
30, yeah, that would work too. Let's see. And we got one that's just going to sail out of the end zone. 34-12, Bonnabel down 12-0 with about 5 minutes and 23 seconds to play in the first half. Has come back to score twice in the first half, and then 3 more times, including a fourth one being a safety here in the second half, to open this one up 34-12. And right now it's looking like they will be in control of District 10-5A.
Reeled off 34 straight points, right? I mean, it's amazing what momentum can do in this game, right? And they came out of, in the second half, a different team. I think they turned it up a notch. It's almost like they dropped the gear. You know, they went from third into fourth gear. Their speed and just getting to where they needed to be it's just gone to another level this second half. Talking about Bonnabel.
Yeah, and Riverdale, came out of that halftime locker room, tried the onside kick to open up the second half, and when that failed and Bonnabel scored, it was like somebody stuck a pin in the balloon. And right now, Bonnabel just cannot get anything going at all. Simmons keeps that time, the quarterback, and he can't get very much out of that. Matter of fact, lost some yardage on that.
Yeah, went empty, didn't have the back in there for protection. Bonnabel rushed 6, Riverdale tries to protect with 5. Those numbers never work out. Somebody's going to get home, and I believe that time who got home might have been Jamyron Williams.
Lost 4, so they're going to try the long pass. Overthrow, it's intercepted. An over-the-shoulder interception at the 45-yard line. They may mark it back at the 44-yard line. But how about that? Alfred Lee, his first interception of the year on a team that's got a lot of them.
Yeah, Alfred Lee, senior, 5'11", 170 pounds, has 4 pass breakups but not an interception. Young man, you've got a stat for an interception here tonight.
Wow.
Nicely done. Ball way overthrown. And what does this guy do? He plays center field, and he just scopes it down and gets it. Another flag on the play, unsportsmanlike against Bonnabel.
Yeah, you can't spin the ball like that.
No, you can't do that. I mean, this stuff has got to stop. And I keep saying it's got to stop, but it's not stopping.
You're correct. So, wow, with the interception on the second play of the Riverdale drive, and that was Riverdale's only hope, was to get something going on that drive to make it try to work. Wow. Now, sometimes it just gets away from you when you come out of the halftime locker room. Sometimes you get the momentum and you make it happen. So,
well, it's gotten away here from Riverdale for sure, right? They've also hurt themselves in a lot of instances. But Bonnabel has taken advantage of those mistakes.
At the 29-yard line, here's a little razzle-dazzle. Are they going to throw it? No, they'll just tuck it under and run because there's some wide open area. And he's across midfield all the way down to the 49-yard line. So pretty doggone good right there. Paris on the stop, and that was Kenneth Robinson.
Well, we saw this play earlier in the first half, right? I think it might have been the first play of the game in the first quarter where it was going to be the double pass, right? And it was incomplete. This time, nobody was open. Smart play right there just to tuck the ball and run and pick up first down.
At the midfield stripe on first down. Perkins sacked. Well, Riverdale got to him, and sometimes you just need a big play to get it going, and they get it from Joey Phillips.
Yeah, Joey Phillips, nobody touches him coming off the back edge. And somebody is down, and that does. Is that Carl Perkins that's down? Yeah, it is. It's Carl Perkins that down. I wonder if he rolled his ankle maybe.
Yeah, it didn't. I mean, well, we'll have to look at that one on replay. Let's take a look and see.
Well, you can see the pressure coming from his right-hand side. Nobody touches Phillips right there. Spins him, wraps him. Oh, it looks like he rolls over on his left knee. Or somebody lands on his left leg.
Keith Walton came in.
Yeah, kind of late
landed,
there, huh?
yeah.
And landed on him. He got up hopping around.
He's okay. Or at least seems to be. And moves it back to the 43-yard line. And this will be second down.
Timeout, Bonnabel.
5 minutes and 53 seconds to play. The Bonnabel Bruins have taken control of this District 10 5A championship game. And if they win it, what does it mean for Bonnabel with the win? Wade, you've been keeping up with the standings and PowerPoints?
Well, they're going to win the district, obviously. They were going to be in the playoffs any way you look at it. It was just where on the bracket were they going to fall in that 24-team bracket for Division I Select, right? They will probably be 17, somewhere from 17 to 24. So they will be on the road even though they are a district winner. It's about the power rating system and where it's going to place you on that bracket.
Athletics Director Sean Temple of Riverdale said, even though things aren't going tonight, no matter what happened tonight, he said, we are so happy with Mark Longo as our first-year coach. He's been on the staff for a long time. We felt if it ever opened up, he might be the guy to get it. He blew everybody away in his a year ago in his interview. And there was no doubt he was the guy to do it. And look, he led them to an 8-1 season. So Perkins.
Well, he was the right guy for the job, no doubt. And you started off at halftime talking about keeping it in the family, and he's done that.
Perkins not in there, so they're going to go to the Wildcat. Brewer stands back there, takes the snap, and hands it off.
I think Perkins might have twisted his leg or his ankle. He's going back out there now, kind of with a little giddy up in his hop, right?
Yeah, there he's coming. He's coming back on the field. They went to that Wildcat with Brewer handing off on that play. Got it up to the 48-yard line, so it's 3rd down and 2 for the Bruins. Keep an eye on that clock on the bottom right side of your screen. If Riverdale is to make a comeback, it's going to have to happen very quickly, and they cannot allow a first down here. They're looking like they're coming hard. Blitz picked up well. He's going to throw against one-on-one competition. Had a man beat just off his fingertips. My goodness.
I think that hit him off his fingertips, right? I mean, he knows that now. He's cramping up.
That's Kenneth Robinson.
Yeah, Kenneth Robinson wants that back, right? I think he says, man, I had that thing because it hit me right off my tips of my fingers. A little more air into the ball would have been perfect, right? A little more. He's kind of tweaked up a hamstring a little bit. He's trying to work that thing out.
Look, the numbers are a little hard to see, but whether you're watching number 16, Kenneth Robinson, or number 15, Raheem Williams, you're talking about two guys with all the speed in the world.
Yeah.
And they have gotten behind defensive backs tonight. And how many times have we seen it just off the fingertips or very close or just behind a guy who was open?
Yeah, I mean, just a little more air on the ball, a little more timing, that sort of thing, right? He tweaked his hamstring a little bit. I tweaked my hamstring coming up these steps of this stadium. That's how my hamstrings work.
They're putting in a chairmaster for you to go down, so you'll be in good shape.
There you go. If anybody's interested, Tulane 28, Memphis 17, 3:09 in the second quarter.
Wow, that was a late start, 8 o'clock New Orleans time. Very big game there. Could determine the conference champion when all is said and done. And Tulane's got a really bad taste in its mouth from its showing in San Antonio, where they just were flat as a pancake. Unlike anything that's happened this year. It only happened once last year.
Well, Memphis put it on them last year and kind of ruined their season, right?
Remember that? There's a story to that, too. The team was a little flat. That was the week the news came out that Darian Mensah, the Tulane quarterback, was going to get $8 million to go to Duke.
There you go.
So that'll...
How much did he get?
$8 million. The whole total package.
$8 million. $8 million, right?
That's what I saw as reports.
I got $8 to go to Rouse's.
I can't verify that.
I got $8 to go to Rouse's from my wife. She said, "Here, go get you something."
He's quarterback in the Duke Blue Devils today.
And he's had a nice season.
Yeah, he's had a
nice season.
Wonderful
yes,
kid. Came in for Mardi Gras, spent a little time with his teammates earlier this year before the football season. Had a lot of fun. And that one punt is going to roll dead in the end zone. So the Riverdale Rebels have 4:53 to see if they can get something cranked up and moving.
Well, you don't have the luxury of running the ball and just pounding, pounding it with your running back, parallel, and so you're going to have to start throwing the ball a little bit vertically now, right?
Yep.
But in order to do that, you're going to have to protect. And here in the second half, they have not done a nice job protecting.
Yep.
The pressure has been on Simmons.
Well, from the 20-yard line, 1st and 10, a hope and a prayer right now for the Riverdale Rebels. 8-win season on the line here. They're going to hand it off to Perilliat. And look at that. He goes around the left side and shows again his extreme talent. Raheem Williams pushes him out of bounds.
Perilliat, I'm telling you, I think this cat could play at the next level. I mean, I don't know if he's been offered. I don't know if he's committed. I'm not exactly sure. You might know, but look.
I asked, and you know what?
I'd love to see this guy playing in somewhere like in the Southland Conference, Southeastern there at Nichols, someplace like that.
4-year starter, all-district player.
Right.
Coach Mark Longo said, why they're not on him, we don't get it, because he's got all the talent in the world. Watch this. Perilliat in open space. There he goes. And look, it looks like they've got him twice, and somehow he gets past midfield, and he'll actually go out of bounds right at midfield by Sampson.
And look, that's pretty good decision. That's having some sort of football situational awareness. Let me get out of bounds. I'm not going anywhere. Let me stop this clock, right? Nice job. Very well done, Byron Perilliat. Love to see this cat play at the next level.
Well, there's a couple of talented young men from each of these teams that I think we're doing a little job of selling tonight. If you're watching anywhere, these two kids are up for grabs. That's Williams shifting in tight, the tight end, and handoff, not much going left side by Brian Jackson.
Brian Jackson's a guy that kind of spells Byron Perilliat at times, and he's got a little giddy up with himself too. He's a senior 5'9", 190-pound running back.
Now 3rd down, keep this drive alive. It's 4-down territory naturally at this point. You're not going to punt the ball away with 3:20. You're going to go for the 4th down, but let's see on 3rd if they can pick up the 3.5 they need. The handoff, nothing doing. Boy, the Bruins defense smelled that one and stuffed them. A whole bunch of people led by Marvin Causey, and he had lots of help.
Well, Marvin Causey has really turned it up a notch the second half. This Bonnabel defense has really played outstanding football when they came out of the locker room for the second half.
Kenyon Harper first to get there after Causey to help out there.
I mean, Riverdale's got no choice. They've got to go for this.
Got to go for it on 4th down.
Looks like they're going to punt it. Wow.
It's got to be a fake, right? David Diaz, a great punter. We haven't really had a chance to see him punt the ball tonight.
Well, we've seen that tonight. We've seen, they're going to punt the ball. Smart thing to do, and the punter just took off for Bonnabel, remember?
And that's what helped him. Big rush, and he just gets it off. Gets a beauty, is going to take a Bonnabel bounce, and it'll be blown dead by Torrens Signal. Well, I thought they might go for it just to see if they could keep the drive alive and get on the board, but 2:06 to go is what we've got in this game, and it looks like the Bonnabel Bruins have it wrapped up, and they're going to walk away with the District 10-5A crown, the first one for Bonnabel, if this holds, unless a miracle happens, since 1998.
Yeah, well, look, they did it in the second half. They came out with completely different momentum factor, right? They controlled the offensive line. They were able to run the football. They did it with big plays. They played defense at a whole different level than they did in the first half. They controlled the clock, so they're very well deserving of this championship trophy that they're going to get here tonight.
The disappointment for Riverdale is they were looking for their first ever district championship, and they're going to have to wait one more year to try to get it, but they can still get in the playoffs. They're going to be in the playoffs, and they can still make something happen there. By the way, Carl Perkins is in there, so he is okay.
Oh, there you go. Look, Mark,
at quarterback.
Mark Longo's onto something here, right? He's making Riverdale a destination.
He talked about that. Very important.
And getting kids in his zone to stay in his zone, and understanding that they've got a great thing going on there in Old Jefferson, and he's got a great football program, and he's turning it into a destination. So he's onto the right combination and the right formula.
Well, getting a big shift of personnel here. I think. So do we have timeout called? Heard a whistle.
I think they're trying to reset the clock. There was some problem with the clock.
Well, they do. Tonight's coverage on Crescent City Sports is brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex in Kenner. Lamarck Lincoln is the only Lincoln Black Label dealership in the market. It's more than ownership, it's membership. Must be a reason, says Ronnie Lamarck. Second down and a long way, but they're just, the Bruins are just trying to eat some clock up right here. Hand it off. And Tyree Brewer, I'm surprised to see him even getting the ball right now. Sebrion Farrell with the stop.
Yeah, and I would get a couple of these guys out of there, especially with the chippiness that's going on between the two schools.
That's what I was thinking about.
I would get my blue chip guys off the field right now. I'm not saying that they're not all blue chip, but I would get my playmakers off, because you don't want to see an ankle rolled, or you don't want to see something happen where a temper gets flared and you might end up getting kicked out of a game that might cost you part of your next game with the LHSAA.
Just as we say that, Gregory Washington comes in at running back.
There you go.
To replace Tyree Brewer. So let's see if Washington gets the ball. They're just going to take a knee and let the clock run out. And this one is going to wrap up with the final score, 34-12. The Bonnabel Bruins up their season and finished the regular season 7 wins and 3 losses. And the Riverdale Rebels complete one of their better seasons in a long time, 8-2 overall, and now 4-1 in district. And the Bonnabel Bruins will finish as league champions, undefeated, 5-0 in district play. Well, boy, Wade Kaiser, what a ball game.
Yeah, what a tale of two halves, right? Tale of two cities, tale of two halves, right? And that's what we saw here out of these two teams here tonight. Congratulations to the Bonnabel Bruins. They definitely came out the second half and took this ball game and won the district championship. As I said, Riverdale is on to the right formula. Mark Longo and his staff are doing a great job. They're in the playoffs. It's my most favorite time of the year. It's playoff time starting next week.
Bonnabel Bruins fell behind 12-0 and scored 34 unanswered points and took the entire momentum away from Riverdale in the second half and held on to win it 34-12. Wade, your final comments about this contest.
Hey, fun football game. Saw some really great running backs. 2 very well-coached teams. It's on to the playoffs for both of these guys next week. Best of luck to these 2 Jefferson Parish teams.
I want to thank our spotter, Rick Thompson, our producer, Matt Merritt, and photographer, Sam Tornator, pardon me. And, man, I'll tell you what a great crew. Good shots. Really enjoyed it. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Thanks for joining us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Crescent City Sports will have a playoff first-round game for you next week. Visit our website, crescentcitysports.com, and social media channels for all of the latest news and our broadcast schedule. For Wade Kaiser and the entire Crescent City Sports production team that I just mentioned, I'm Ken Berthelot saying so long from Metairie. Once again, our final score in this one, the Bonnabel Bruins 34 and the Riverdale Rebels 12. From Metairie, Louisiana, good night, everybody.